What's up, guys? Regiment in this podcast is brought to you by G Fuel, the ultimate energy drink for gamers. G Fuel uses a special blend of vitamins, antioxidants, and other natural caffeine resources to keep you from having those jitters or even that crash that you normally would have from other energy drink brands. So whether you're having a long gaming session or you're just having a long day and need a pick-me-up, G Fuel definitely has you covered. G Fuel also has a wide array of flavors to choose from. But if you don't know what flavor you want to try, they also sell variety packs on their website, and they even come with a cool shaker. So head on over to gfuel.com and use promo code REGIMENT at checkout to get up to 30% off. That is REGIMENT, promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout to get up to 30% off. Welcome back to the smoke pit, everybody. It's been a while. And it's been a while because I was out of the country for a while, and then at the end of that, I had to do a lot of makeup work for some school shit, and then other stuff, you know, throughout the couple weeks were going on where, you know, kind of didn't get a chance to really record. But we're here now. We're back, and we've missed a lot of shit. A lot.
We're behind. We got a lot to cover.
I mean, and then
not a lot of time.
And TwitchCon happened right after I got back from Norway. So
yeah, MitCon's happening as we speak of this recording.
Which con?
MitCon.
MitCon. Which one's that one? I saw the booth set up. I just don't know.
MCon, sorry.
MCom, yeah.
MitCon, MCon, you know, pronunciation.
I totally plan next year going to more like actual in-person regiment events and conventions so that I can actually see everybody. I know all the people, all the staff, you know, because we are part of staff, but I never actually, it all seems like that they have like group texts with each other and they're hanging out all the time. and then here's my dumbass up in Wisconsin, like, I'm just here and like never get to really see anybody. I used to see you all the time, and then you PCS because you hate me.
Oh, it's really because I hate Great Lakes, honestly.
I mean, fair. Great Lakes sucks, man. Yeah. But yeah, we missed a lot of stuff, so we have a lot of things to cover today.
We do.
So, but before we get into like the catching up with each other and shit, let's talk about some of our topics today. Veterans Day has happened. It was yesterday. You know, I wanted to record.
Hold on, Marine Corps birthday happened.
Oh yeah, right. Marine Corps birthday happened too. So we have that.
And the National Hangover Day, otherwise known as Veterans Day.
R.I.P. to the Marine Corps livers, man. But it's funny because I was telling my wife, I said, they're probably the second most hype song in the entire U.S. military is the fucking Marine Corps hymn.
Probably.
And the one that I think, me personally think, is the most hype song in the entire military is Blood Upon the Risers, which is the song that I put at the end of every episode. Yeah. Because, I mean, the two iconic songs that everybody fucking knows, From the Halls of Montezuma, and then you have Gory, Gory, what a hell of a way to die. You have those, right?
I mean, everyone knows the Navy one. But they just think of butt sex when they hear it.
Yeah, everyone knows the Navy one. He's bouncing off my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides.
That's the new version.
That's the Gen Z version of the Navy.
That's the remix.
Yeah. But yeah, so Marine Corps birthday did happen. Happy belated birthday, Marines. Our
born in a gay bar.
They're born in a bar, and you know, we, as the Army says, that the Marines are the Army's special needs, crayon eating, but violent cousins. So
they're combat sailors, essentially.
Yeah. I remember I was looking into the history of the Marine Corps of like, you know, what their true purpose was when they first established. And basically they were just like sailors that raided other ships.
Yeah, they were combat sailors.
Combat sailors. So
they were amphibious ones. So some sailors were drunk in a bar and they're like, I don't want to do this shit. We should make a fucking team that will be, they had a terrible childhood. And they're like, fuck it, I'll go destroy those bitches.
And then the Navy made the Navy SEALs. So when did the Navy SEALs establish? I want to know that. I'm actually kind of curious to like, when did the Navy create the SEALs? I can actually probably, Google's free, bro.
We're literally
on a computer
right now.
When were the Navy SEAls formed? 1962?
They were probably something else before that.
Yeah, they were. They were the underwater demolition team, and I only know that because my grandpa was UDT in Vietnam.
Back in Nam.
Actually, no. That in 1962 they were called the UDT. Right?
Yeah.
So when were the Navy SEALs formed?
We're never gonna get through these topics.
This much we pledged. So they were. Yeah, underwater demolitions teams in the 1962. So they were basically the Naval Amphibious Base was where they were created. The first SEAL team was made in 1962. So when did they change the name to this Navy SEALs? I don't know. Too much to look into. We got too much to talk about.
Our squirrel was like, well, I couldn't find it. I'm already lost interest.
Yeah, we got too much to talk about, man. We could go down a fucking military history rabbit hole one of these days, but today is not that day. We've got too many other rabbit holes to follow down. So our first topic, actually, let's talk about all our topics. So Veterans Day has also come and passed. An adult entertainer will pleasure veterans for free on Veterans Day, right? So what does that mean?
Some of y'all may have already heard of that.
So there's this place called the Sausage Castle in Florida, and was founded by entertainer Mike Busey, and basically it's just a massive party for vets where women will do some pretty nasty things to vets for free, to show thank you for your service.
It's the true thank you for your service.
It's the ultimate thank you for your service, and which I find it's interesting, but at the same time it's weird because there's like 100 people watching you and filming you, and
if you think about it, if they're all adult stars, the only part would be the filming thing, but I would be like, I feel safe getting this blowjob because the amount of times that they're tested for their films, it's almost fucking daily because they have to be tested before they film each scene or each day that they film. They have to be tested. They have to come in and show that their paperwork is done.
Well, there's also, so I mean, obviously the headline talks about getting a blowjob from a porn star, but there's also a lot of other things that they do for vets there besides just that.
Yeah,
we'll go over all
the one that makes the news.
It's the one that makes the news because it's the most extreme, but we'll go over all of that when we actually, get to that. Our next topic is a soldier is arrested after knife and rope were found outside a girl's home, and he told parents he wanted to be a serial killer.
That's just, goals when you grow up, I guess.
He's from Wisconsin. He's from fucking Wisconsin. Oh, God.
He looks like a child. Is he old enough?
Yeah, he's 18.
Oh, he looks it.
We'll look into that a little bit more. Of course, he'd be from Wisconsin.
What kind of goals are these when you grow up?
I don't know, man. All I know is that most of the notorious serial killers in the world are from the Midwest. You've got John Wayne Gacy from Chicago.
Because it sucks ass there. Chicago doesn't really
right.
count.
And then you have John Wayne Gacy from Chicago. You have Jeffrey Dahmer from Milwaukee. Well, not from Milwaukee, but he's from Wisconsin. You have Ed Gein, who's from Wisconsin. He's the one that Ed Gein is the inspiration behind the movie Psycho. And I want to even say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The guy fucking collected bodies and he made furniture out of skin and body parts and shit. He was obsessed about his mother. Yeah, Ed Gein. He was a very famous serial killer. Anyway, he started with dead bodies and moved his way to actual people. But
Freud was right.
So the next topic, and this is for you Marines. Happy birthday. Pantless Marine arrested after trying to rub himself on a 76-year-old woman.
If this didn't happen on the birthday, what are y'all doing?
And it happened.
I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
It happened Saturday. No, this actually happened last week.
2 days before.
2 days before, yeah. So,
fuck are y'all doing?
It was before the birthday, but from the halls of I'm just kidding. After that, so we have this Navy chick. So we have the sailor says that nothing in the UCMJ says that I can't, after she says the Navy has to put up with her stripping, being a stripper, you know, and then also thirst trapping in uniform.
Oh God.
You know, and I gotta say,
her tattoos are pretty fire though, I'm not gonna lie.
They're cool. But besides the point, by the way, just UCMJ, I'm pretty sure does say that you can't do things like that, especially in uniform.
Not specifically. I think it falls under like good order and discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you can't have like an OnlyFans when you're in the military.
It's the same thing because it's all good order and discipline.
Right. It falls under a different category, but it means the same thing. Also, I noticed that one of the photos here, she's in her fucking uniform showing her ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. And in the gaming news, we got Doritos dipping their hands in the fucking gaming software. So Doritos releases crunch cancellation software for gamers.
You know, I greatly appreciate Doritos because this is something that I've always wanted. Hell, this is something I've always felt when I'm watching TV. Like, oh, I can't hear my show because of these chips that I'm eating.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I've had that too, where I'm in a VC or voice chat and then I'm eating something and they're like, who the fuck is eating chips in the background? I'm like, so sorry. So sorry about that. Modern Warfare 3 just released and everybody fucking hates it, which, you know, I tell everybody every time that a Call of Duty is announced, you know, and then on top of that, so you have them saying that they weren't going to do the yearly release bullshit anymore. Yeah. And that they were just going to be expanding on Modern Warfare 2 until the next full-fledged Call of Duty. And then not even a year later, they're like, here's another full title Call of Duty. And then they're selling it full price and everything. And it's gotten some massive backlash. They've already had to pull several maps from the multiplayer rotation due to the whole spawnings being broken.
Mm-hmm. I think I played like 2 multiplayer matches and I've just been zombies the whole time. I literally bought this for zombies.
Right. So the biggest issue is that, you know, it came out that Modern Warfare 3 has only really been in development for less than a year. And it looks like it because the campaign is basically a Warzone map that they just threw a campaign into.
If you look at it,
they just reused assets.
It's an updated version of MW2. Like the groundwork was fucking there.
They didn't, and it was not a ground up new game.
Yeah,
which it should have been.
They updated some of the movement.
It was a
like
lazy,
perks,
but
all that shit.
The campaign map settings was lazily done, and I say that because if you look at it, it is just maps from Modern Warfare 2 that they used to make the campaign because they didn't have to make new campaign maps.
There was a lot of Verdansk in the campaign, and with how much Verdansk there was. And with OG Fortnite hitting record numbers of players for bringing back the original map, there's no possible way that Activision isn't going to bring back Verdansk for like an event, a limited time thing, just to bring back fucking players.
I wish I could care. I don't. I don't.
No, I'm just saying, like there's no shot, like at the timing with how much Verdansk is in that campaign, how much people have been asking for it ever since it's been gone. And then the numbers that OG Fortnite pulled, there's no shot that they're not looking at this like, we got to do this.
Yeah. So Microsoft, EA, Activision, Ubisoft, and Epic Games face game addiction lawsuits in Arkansas. So a family is suing the games giants for their child's excessive playtime and spending. Sounds like a parent issue to me. But we'll dive into that in a little bit. Last week, there was some big waves made in the gaming industry. Oops. I was trying to close an ad and then it opened up and made me unmute it. So anyway, big waves in the games world. Bungie is the latest Sony studio to be hit with layoffs, which is crazy because the way it happened and how suddenly it happened, and it was not long after, because we talked about how Sony bought Bungie. Mm-hmm. And everyone was worried about what that would mean for Bungie. But the CEO of Bungie was saying, hey, don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. There aren't going to be massive layoffs or restructuring done as the result of this acquisition, which turned out to be completely not true. And the way they went about it was kind of shitty too, because People got laid off, and they didn't find out until they were going to work that day and couldn't sign in. Right? They couldn't get into the building. They couldn't log into their stuff if they were working remotely. They were just like locked out of everything. And then told, hey, you have to be in this meeting. And they get in the meeting. They're all told they were laid off. And it's who they laid off too. They laid off some veteran people in the company, to include the music composer, the guy who was the I'm trying to remember, what's his name?
Hans Zimmer?
No. Bungie music composer. Let me see, who was it? Michael Salvatore. So Michael Salvatore he's got a massive what's the word I'm thinking of? Portfolio of music that he's done since Halo. And that includes all the Destiny games, all the expansions, every Halo that Bungie did before 343 took off, and they laid him off. Right?
Imagine.
And also another really fucked up thing they did was like owning shares. So people that had been with the company after the acquisition, they were told that they could own shares, but they lost those shares after they got laid off. So the shares that they owned were taken from them.
How is that even legal?
I don't know. A lot of people have been asking that too. I'm sure we'll dive more into that. And then when leadership was asked, like the CEO, when they were asked, like, is there any restructuring being done in the executive level or in the leadership? They said no, of course, because when it comes to, hey, we have to do some restructuring and some cutting, they never fucking cut from the top. They cut from the bottom.
Yeah, of course.
And his response to the whole thing,
and then overwork the ones that are still left to try to make that
right.
profit margin, work up. And then, get everyone else at the top get some more bonuses and everything. That's only going to work for so long. I think I've seen so many TikToks and all of that to where this generation and hell, even millennials and everyone are tired of it. And you're seeing everywhere that people they're calling it like the quiet quitting type stuff. They're like,
yeah.
if I'm getting paid minimum wage, you're getting fucking minimum effort.
I know.
I'm not breaking my back for this company if you're not even going to give me a livable expense.
Well, the CEO of Bungie's been getting a lot of backlash over his responses during this whole thing. One of which when he said that, like, we kept the right people, quote unquote. And this was after he basically said that the individuals that were let go, it's a sad day for us. They're all incredible individuals. Highly recommend that you hire them. And then in the same breath said that, like, we kept the right people. So, like, it's just like kind of like a very shitty thing to say. Imagine you're the employee that got laid off, and then your former boss says, we kept the right people, and you're just like, well, so I suck at my job. That's why you let me go. But yet you told me it wasn't performance related. Anyway, more military news. And this is a fucking fun one, because I love when officers who are so out of touch with fucking lower enlisted and everything, like, try to have an opinion on shit. Army general says moldy barracks are a discipline problem.
Some of y'all may have seen the Angry Cops video on this as well.
Yeah, this has been circulating for the last week or so, and it's like such an out of touch fucking response to the issues that people are having in the barracks. For a general to say it's a discipline issue, it's like, no, a messy room is a discipline issue.
Yeah.
Shit wrong with the fucking barracks is not.
I will say Angry Cops went into it deeper. Like, he got the full context of it. And some of what people were snipping out of context were taken out of context. There was more to it. But when he was giving the general the benefit of the doubt for a while until it got to one of the points towards the end. And he was like, I don't think I agree with you on that one there. Was
it like, because, all right, I kind of had a feeling it was getting a little taken out of context in the aspect that when he says it was a discipline problem, he wasn't referring to the soldiers that were living in those conditions. He was referring to the lack of leadership taking care of those situations. I was given the benefit of doubt for that. Like, I was wondering, did he mean that in the way of, like, the fact that these issues aren't being taken care of
Mostly, and he was talking, and he goes into. Well, we can get more into it in the article, but there were some things that were taken out of context. But not everything that he said was kosher.
I imagine not. And then our last one, this one's a fun one. I can't imagine being one of these soldiers in this position, but the Army suddenly and chaotically told hundreds of soldiers they have to be recruiters immediately. Like, put them down on recruiting orders, said that you have pretty much days to get ready to leave for recruiter school, and then you're PCSing to your recruiting station within a week or two after that.
I'm so glad that the Navy doesn't do, like, you elect to be a recruiter in the Navy.
What's even crazier is that they told them they had to get ready for this and be gone in less than a week.
Yeah.
And then
like if they were putting in for it, or if they had orders, or if they were going to like any type of schools or whatever.
Yeah. Which is fucking crazy with like less than a week heads up. Guess what? That's the green weenie for you, kids.
Yeah.
You know, add that to the 150 reasons why you're not re-enlisting, you know?
Why don't people want to stay in?
Why is retention so low? I don't get it. Why do people not? Why can't we get people to join? Why can't we get people to stay? Blah 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 blah. It's a you problem, not an us problem.
The irony of that is that they're going to be recruited. Like, they're doing that to make people recruiters, and so those people are supposed to tell other people that want to join, or to get other people to join, that it's so great, it's not that bad.
It's funny because it's so out of touch for the department and the Army to just be like, hey, our recruiting numbers are down, maybe it's because we don't have enough recruiters. It's like, no, your recruiting numbers and retention numbers are down because nobody wants to fucking join or stay.
I think fucking over the people that you're gonna have recruiting is not the right way to go about this.
No, if anything, you're going to have less, because they're going to get there and be like, yeah, by the way, I was told I had to do this a week prior to, you know, doing whatever else I was doing. And now I was forced into this and had to uproot my entire family to come here because the Army told me I had to within a week's notice. So, and you have that to look forward to.
They're going to be like, I don't give a fuck who we recruit. I ain't lying to these dudes.
They don't give a fuck. Tony, my buddy, he was a recruiter. He was with 5th Group, Special Forces 5th Group. He got thrown on recruiting orders. He said it was pretty good. But he obviously was like anybody else that's a recruiter. Like, you know, it's like you're an E6 and, you know, you're going to be sent to recruiting school on this date. And it wasn't like a week's notice. But then he got put on those orders, and it was still in his state. It was like nearby where he was stationed, so it's not like he had to move. And then once he was done with that, he went back to 7th Group. So it was like, you know, it wasn't bad. Anyway, so how have things been with you? Did you have a hike yesterday?
I had a
community
game event. At a community game event.
That's what it was. How is the IW thing going lately?
Pretty fun. You've been
going to a lot of IW meetings.
Yep. But we're in some talks to hopefully do some stuff with Regiment in the future, or more stuff with Regiment in the future.
Yeah.
Next year, some potential other organizations to bring into it, and yeah, can't talk too much on it, but there's
because it's not set in stone. It's still really early. Usually around this time of year is when you guys start planning for the next year, and things get announced like early into the next year. So probably around February is usually when you guys announce shit, isn't it? February, March, around that time frame.
Because the leadership conference is in January.
Yeah. So you guys, hikes are scheduled through January. And when's the last month of hikes on the calendar?
December usually.
Is it December? I thought you guys start
Key West.
I thought your
Key West hike is usually in December.
I thought
so. If it's in December and or January, technically the planning is like all year. But if it's in December, January, February timeframe, it's being worked on prior to the new year.
So when does the new schedule usually drop?
February-ish, or like the end of January.
So what, is there like 2 months of no hikes?
Not usually. January is usually not. There's almost never any hikes in January. February, Fort Lauderdale is mostly the first one of the year. There might be a couple others, but there's usually scarce until March.
Yeah,
because the February ones are usually more established, and leadership that's been running them have been doing it for a while, so they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah,
and they're kind of able to be more autonomous. So,
sweet. I have been. I got a Meta Quest 3 VR headset. If you're gonna get a headset, I like the Meta Quest 3, but I would highly recommend you look for a different one. I kind of wish I got a different one because the Quest 3 is a little bit pricey and the battery life is the worst, dude. Because it uses so much power that you can't plug it in and charge it while you're playing it because it draws more power than it can charge it.
I've got the new PlayStation handheld coming next week.
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing was, I didn't want to restrict myself to just the PlayStation marketplace. I wanted to get games. There's a lot of good games on Steam that you can't get on PlayStation Store. So
yeah, I mean, I've got a Steam Deck too. So
and the biggest thing with the Meta Quest is the remote play, which is good. Only problem with it is that the battery is like if you're playing a game, you get less than an hour from the battery, which is bad, really bad. And then I got this battery pack, which some people on Amazon were saying you can get up to 6 hours on your headset. I'm like, that's more than enough. And I don't. I get like 2, maybe 3, because it draws so much power from the power bank that it drains that power bank fast. It'll charge, but it won't extend it that much. So I got to fuck with the settings to kind of get it, optimized. But the Meta Quest 3's battery life is atrocious. It absolutely is atrocious. I should have gotten the Valve Index. The only reason why I didn't was, 1, because it's $1,000 for this. 2, that VR headset came out in 2019, so it's old in the standard of VR. Like it's an older piece of hardware. So like you're paying $1,000 for outdated equipment, even though like the controllers on it are some of the best in the VR industry. And it's just more of like the internals and the processor and the screen that you get within the Valve Index that's kind of dated versus everything else that's coming out now. And it's still more expensive than most things. And the other thing that you don't get with the Valve Index is that you have to be wired in your PC to play it. You can't be unhooked to it. So, I mean, I don't know. I might actually like down the road look for a different headset at some point. And seeing what Meta does with the updates for this, because I'm hoping that the battery life is just mostly like an update can fix the battery issue. But right now, the battery life on this fucker is not good. Like there's a lot of cool VR games, and I play them, and I get maybe 30 to 40 minutes out of them before my battery is like, hey, I'm dying now.
Oh, that's just...
It's bad. It's bad. And it's supposed to last 2.5 hours. And it definitely doesn't make that at all.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. indeed. We're going to be having some updates for the podcast. We should be getting graphics done soon.
We keep saying that, but this time...
We keep saying that. I mean...
I think it's legitimate.
Oakley's been pretty on top of the guy to try to get these graphics done. We should be having a meeting with him soon. So we can't rename us yet. We are going to be having some guests on. Did you ever hear from... who was... are we still waiting for the name change before we get on Dysfunctional Veterans?
Yeah.
What about Grunt Style?
I just got to follow up with Dan for him.
Well, hurry up and follow up with Dan.
I think the big issue was we were waiting for you to come back as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, let him know I'm back.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy. I've been back since fucking late October. It's been a few weeks. We're also going to have a guest on one of our episodes. That episode probably won't be pushed out until December, but
it'll be a little bit different.
It's going to be
a regular one.
It's going to be very different from what you're used to seeing with us. It's a pretty serious but a very important episode. So keep your eyes out for that one. We'll definitely be pushing that one once it's getting ready to release. I'm probably gonna take a different approach. I'm gonna take some clips and post the clips before the episode comes out, so that, you know, kind of get people like, ooh, that's gonna be an interesting one. You know, a little bit of a teaser to it. So yeah, I
should
also
use the vertical. I have a vertical of OBS now.
So do I.
So I can record vertically and not have to fucking change shit.
It's a little bit different with that
for ours
because it's not like game clips where that's easy. With us, it's a little bit different. It has to be different. So, what the fuck else was I gonna say? Oh, I have been as a side gig for programming, I'm thinking about getting the Unreal Engine and dipping my hands into game development. And
I mean, you're already programming, so
it's different though. It's a completely different programming. You're working with a whole different language, which my school does teach the language. It just, the GI Bill won't let me take it because it's outside of my program. So I'm in software development. The language that's used for game development is for the game development program. And which kind of sucks because a lot of the software development jobs I've been finding want you to know that language.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if it's used for gaming, it's used for other things too, but it's more focused on graphical shit. Why not teach that part of the software program? But they just don't. Our school is really weird with things. They're going through some kind of weird leadership restructuring where they're getting
loss of trust and confidence.
Pretty much, yeah. Like our school, so our school is doing something really fucked up. We got a new president, new VP, and all these other people that are high up, like, you know, putting pressure on we got a new dean. And the way that they're doing it is like, if a class doesn't have a certain number of people in it, they'll cancel it. Even though that number of people is more than enough to run a class in any other circumstance. But the problem is that class is only offered in that semester. So you'll have a fall class. It's only offered in fall. It's not full enough to the school's liking. They'll cancel it. Now, like there's a student in my class. He needed that one class to graduate. And he was supposed to graduate next semester. But now he has to wait till next fall to hopefully get that class filled up to finish his degree. So people are having to put their degrees on hold to get that last class done because they only offer it in certain semesters, and they canceled it this one semester because there wasn't enough people. They missed the number by one person. And because they missed it by one person, they just canceled the whole class. Now they got to wait till next fall. So they can't even graduate and get their degree until next fall. And that's assuming that class fills up next fall. Because if it doesn't fill up next fall, they're going to cancel it again. So, like, it's basically the school is designed to get people their degree and get them in the workforce. But you can't do that if you keep canceling the classes and these students can't get their degree and get into the workforce. You're just pushing them back more and more and more. And you're making them wait a whole year before they can even get in that class again. Luckily, a lot of these jobs are understanding of that and willing to hire people before their degree is done. It sucks that the school is doing that, but I digress. Let's get into our topics now.
Into our blowjobs for veterans.
Let's talk about blowjobs for veterans. Regiment in this podcast is also proudly partnered with Stack Up. Stack Up is another military gaming organization. The one thing different, though, is that they focus mostly on the mental health of veterans as well as the betterment of veterans alike. One of the programs that Stack Up has is their STOP, or Overwatch program, which is a 24/7 crisis support line for veterans. The thing that sets Stack Up's Overwatch program above all other crisis support lines, including the VAs, is the fact that this 24/7 crisis line is operated by trained veterans. So when a veteran calls in crisis, they're not just talking to a random person. They themselves are talking to a vet that has also gone through something similar and can relate to the situation. Their trained staff in this Overwatch program will help a veteran find the resources that they need to find help. And if the person just wants somebody to talk to, the Overwatch program is great for that too. Another cool thing that the Overwatch program does is that you don't have to sit there and talk on the phone with somebody. If you feel comfortable just doing DMs, they can definitely do that too. Another really cool thing that Stack Up has is their air assaults. Air assaults are where they'll take a veteran and fly them to conventions all over the country. This includes TwitchCon, Comic-Con, anywhere in the U.S., all expenses paid. And if a convention happens to be somewhere out west in California, Stack Up has what's called a Phalanx House, which is essentially a gaming lounge for all veterans to just go to. Stack Up will definitely hook you up with that. They have pool tables, hot tubs, and just a place to stay if you're out west. It's pretty cool. Another thing that Stack Up has is their supply crates. Now, what they'll do is they'll take gaming equipment, gaming consoles, and other cool swag and send it to either a veteran in need or a unit somewhere deployed or a unit that needs it. This is a great way to keep veterans connected and boost the morale of the veterans that need it. Every year, Stack Up has a charity called the Call to Arms. The Call to Arms charity is to help Stack Up raise the funds that they need for all the awesome programs that they have. Last year alone, they raised $625,000, and all of that money goes to keeping these programs going to help other veterans that need it. If you're looking to donate, we have the donation link down in the bio. But if not, go ahead and spread the word of this awesome charity and head on over to stackup.org and check them all out. That's stackup.org and tell them Regiment sent you. So, adult entertainer will pleasure veterans for free on Veterans Day.
Which was sadly yesterday.
Yeah, happy belated Veterans Day. So the ultimate veteran... What?
That means no Veterans Day blowjob to... Babe!
I know.
Can I still get a Veterans Day blowjob?
Can I get a Veterans Day blowjob? It's not Veterans Day anymore, but... You know, thank me for my service, and I'll thank you for your cervix. Anyway,
it would be great if she's on the phone right now, and I don't know who it is.
And you just in the middle of a work call or some shit?
Yes.
Oh
that would be
God.
No, not a work call. It's either like her brother, her sister, or her mom. One of the three. Or one of her best friends. That one wouldn't be as bad.
By the way, congratulations on being married now.
It feels no different.
I see, and that's what I've been telling people. Everyone's like,
but
"How
then
does it
again,
feel being a married man?" I'm like, no different than it was when I wasn't.
But I think that's the way it should be. It shouldn't feel different. If it feels different, you're probably not going to last that long.
Something's wrong. If it feels different, then something's wrong. Like, often, everyone always says, like, how does it feel being a married man? I'm like, literally no different than when we weren't married. I mean, everything's still the same. It's just...
The only difference for me is I've had a lot more ass pain of paperwork to do.
Yeah, that's the... Maybe for you, because you're still in, but... Yeah, I digress. Anyway, so the Ultimate Veterans Day party is going down in Florida again as entertainer Mike Busey cranks his appreciation for the troops up to 11 once more.
Why up to 11?
Because 10's not high enough. So taking place in this 80-plus acre sausage castle in Central Florida, party animal Mike Busey, who is a former porn star, is giving vets an active duty the party of a lifetime for the 12th year in a row.
80 acres.
Which is a lot, man. In addition to good food, music, free tattoos, and entertainment, veterans who RSVP are eligible to receive oral from porn star Jenny Jizz, which we looked up, and she is not a young lady at all. However, I will say she's definitely not the only one. Fucking this guy.
There's no way she's the only one. They're just like a line of dudes.
There are two heads here. He's getting a double blowy. It's just weird that everyone's recording him. I mean, and it's his face. This is an intense face. Like, yeah, fucking take me from my service.
This is what I served for.
This is America, bitch. So it is noted, however, that all veterans who opt in for the service should arrive clean and well-groomed, and if you know what we mean, which means shave your dick and wash your balls. Don't go
looking
in there.
At you, Marines. We're looking at you.
Don't be coming in fresh off the field or off of a deployment, and you hadn't showered in 2 months. Thinking that this is just going to be, like, done right away. Fucking smelling ripe, dude. Don't come in there like that.
Or fresh off the latest fine dancer.
Yeah. Born as Michael Andrew Ward, Busey was a former college basketball player who made a career as a porn star and show host. The Lake County resident has... Lake County, Illinois?
Chicago.
He's from Chicago? That's the only
oh no, Lake County, that's Florida. We're in Florida. What are we talking about?
Here's the thing, like every time I see Lake County I think of Illinois by the Chicagoland area, but I keep forgetting that literally every state has a Lake County. So he's always insisted on showing his support for the military, particularly at a point in time when many veterans feel they've been discarded by society in place of the current thing, which is true. He said, What would you say to those? So this is a reporter to a vet. What would you say to those who say this event is morally bankrupt? An elite daily reporter asked a veteran at a previous event. I bet you this is a very veteran response. Fuck him is a very veteran response. The veteran replied, if there are no blowjobs, if there are a million blowjobs, it's the thought. The fact that anybody's willing to do something for the veterans, especially this late in the war. Everybody came together in 01, especially each year progressively. They're like, oh no, they're just crazy now, which is how they look at us.
True. I mean, I don't know. I like having a blowjob more than the thought of having a blowjob, but I see what he's saying.
I get what he's saying. I've always had a tender spot for veterans, Busey said at the time of the same interview. My whole family is military, and I've lost friends to some of those wars. Whether or not the event is respectable or reprehensible is in the eye of the beholder, it seems, but it cannot be denied that the sentiments of being discarded by the public are very real for many of those who served. And this is very true.
This is poster.
And this fucking poster carrying with two Tavor Tar assault rifles.
Like if you look, it's like you got free haircuts, you get free beer, tattoos, you got some fucking free barbecue,
yeah, free food, free beer, free tattoos, free haircuts, and a free blowy. Like, you know, it's just a fucking party to show appreciation. And it's, even if those weren't there, all these other things are pretty awesome too.
Stripper showdown. You know, some of those strippers are giving some blowies. Free blowjob with Jenny J. I want to know if there's just like a line of vets and she just like lock next. Like next.
It even says stripper showdown. Bring $1.
Ones.
Bring ones. You're right. Okay. Bring ones.
I think it's hilarious that the blowjob is the very last thing. Like you get your dick sucked, you're like, all right, I'm good. Deuces, we out.
Dude, anyone that's been to a strip club knows that like your change is always in ones. And it's funny because I went to a gun range last weekend to zero my rifle for deer season. And all the change was in ones. And Alicia's like, did you go to a strip club? I was like, no, I went to the range. I didn't even realize that I had all ones as change until then.
Think of how many strippers' ass cracks that a one has been in. And how much coke has probably been snorted off.
I'm sure that if you did a test on U.S. currency, I think that's a thing. Like, if
I think they have done that, yeah.
I think they have done a test and seen that there are trace amounts of cocaine on most money.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. 3 hours for these blowjobs because it says debrief and depart at 12 and the blowjobs start at 9.
I mean, depending on how many vets there are, and that's why usually the strippers are like, I'll fucking take a shot to the mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
To kind of speed this along. So yeah. So let's talk about a soldier who was arrested for wanting to be a serial killer.
It's goals when you grow up, I guess.
Goals. I mean, you know, like I said, going places, prison, but places. So soldiers arrested after knife and rope found outside girl's home, telling parents he wanted to be a serial killer. A U.S. soldier from Wisconsin, Wisconsin. You got Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, John Wayne Gacy. U.S. soldier from Wisconsin was charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide after stalking and expressing a desire to kill a woman he graduated with from high school earlier this year.
It says attempted, so that means he had to have, like, tried, right?
Well, the fact that he was gearing up for it is enough for attempt.
Interesting.
It's his intent to he's preparing for it. So he hadn't gotten to the part to even to start doing it. It's just the gathering of everything that he was doing is enough to be charged with attempted murder.
I see.
Prosecutors say Stuart Rutowski, 18, confessed to his parents via text messages that he wanted to be a serial killer. Imagine texting your mom, "Hey mom, you'd be so proud of me. I'm going to murder as many people as I can." What the
For you.
I'm doing it for you, mom. His parents must be fucking proud. They're tipped off after Rutowski's parents told the U.S. Army first lieutenant that they were concerned about the messages they received from their son. After police detective reviewed videos on Rutowski's phone and found instances where Rutowski expressed his intentions to kill the girl he was stalking, according to the criminal complaint.
I bet he was going to fuck her. He was going to kill her and then fuck the corpse.
It was going to be in that order or the other order. He was definitely going to do something. The phone also had images of incriminating items such as a black gown, a mask, and a knife, according to Fox 6. The detective also searched his bedroom and found a notebook containing the word kill written multiple times. Kill, kill, kill.
It just makes me think of what Ace Ventura, the laces out.
Yeah, the fucking laces out.
Laces out. Laces out, Dan.
And everyone's like scratching their tongue and shit because they found out that
Finkel is Einhorn.
Finkel is Einhorn.
Einhorn is Finkel.
So on her way home so the mother said to the local news, on her way home from school, she would see Rutowski sitting in a parking lot just watching her. She said that her daughter and Rutowski had classes together, but did not know each other beyond that. The thing is, he was going to do things he was going to do if given the opportunity just really struck us, the mother said. Rutowski's phone
will strike you.
No, I know. Rutowski's phone records show him admitting to leaving a box with a knife, rope, and a serial killer costume near the victim's home. It's hard to hear about that about your own daughter.
A serial killer costume. That's what
what would be a serial killer costume? I don't know. So Rutowski joined the Army in June 2023 and was administratively expelled for the investigation into his stalking and planned murder, according to the Army.
How long is boot camp? 2 months?
Roughly, yeah. And it's weird that, so here, his LinkedIn profile confirms these dates and also includes some more information about his personal life, which is a weird thing to put on LinkedIn, honestly. I'm currently working at Pick and Save.
Knew about LinkedIn.
I mean, I didn't either. And working at the recruitment center, he wrote, I will be going to BCT in June of 2023. I play many video games, including all CODs, VR chat, and miscellaneous social games like Gang Beast, which is a very odd thing to put on LinkedIn, which is basically a professional profile to get a job.
Yeah.
I'm a single straight male. However, I've dedicated myself to one person. Yeah. Yeah, one person indeed. That's also weird to put on LinkedIn, like as if it's a fucking dating profile.
Right.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
And if you're not married, it just seems kind of odd.
It does. So another profile was created after he was on active duty. States, I'm currently achieving the rank of Army rank of E2, private, and a 15 whiskey UAS operator, pilot of a UAV.
He would have had a top secret clearance too.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he
would have.
Oh,
Lord. That's the type of people we're giving these jobs to?
I mean, you know, like they say, man, we'll talk about that with the fucking forced recruiting. But I mean, them recruiting and retention numbers are so low. They'll like fucking, the recruiters are like, whatever, I need my numbers.
And look, Milwaukee County.
Yeah, Milwaukee County, really close to me. Love that.
Take some pictures. I bet he was inspired by Dahmer. He just watched the show and he's like, oh, I want to do that.
I mean, the timing is impeccable because that is around the time when the fucking series came out, isn't it?
What, June?
No, it was late last year, early this year when that came out. So I mean,
I don't remember. I remember watching it.
The Dahmer series came out not long ago. I know that. It's been less than a year since that series came out, I think. You're gonna look this up, aren't you?
Yep.
So
September last year.
So it has been a year. So September. So he watched it and was just like, I could be that. You just missing the glasses, kid.
Yeah, goals.
So a pantless Marine arrested after trying to rub himself on a 76-year-old woman.
So I have so many questions.
We all do, man. Fucking Marines.
Why are your pants off?
Yeah, how did he get this far without someone stopping him or trying?
Why was she 76? What were you trying to do? Were you trying to get a gum job? I don't understand.
So a 20-year-old U.S. Marine has been arrested for allegedly assaulting a 76-year-old woman in Japan. According to police, the incident occurred Iwakuni City around 4 a.m. on Saturday. Police said the suspect, who is stationed at U.S. Marine Corps Air Base, is accused of punching the woman several times in the face. Which, that one's a weird one to me. Like, why?
Was this like a massage parlor? What's happening
Something. Here? I don't know. Like, why her? And why that use of force? According to Marine Insider's social media page, the Marine was not wearing pants and tried to rub his genitals on the woman prior to his arrest.
Like, for one, a Japanese woman that is 76, you know she's old.
Yeah, it's not, especially like, you know she's old. And I've probably brought this up before, but like the fucking Marines in Japan have a rough time getting liberty as it is. And shit like this makes it so much worse.
This is why it's a rough time.
And this is why, like, whenever we're overseas to another duty station that's like not that's outside the country, that country fucking hates us. I'm sure Japan hates the fucking military.
They hate the Marines, that's for sure.
They definitely hate the Marines. They're always doing some bullshit. So according to Japan Today, a man who witnessed the incident called the police and said a foreigner was beating up a woman. Police
Imagine witnessing that. Like this dude just trying to like rub his dick on this old woman.
and then punching her in the face. I know. Police say the Marine was drunk, of course, when they arrested him and claim he said he didn't do anything. The woman was
Sorry, I thought this was America.
This is America. The woman was taken to hospital and treated for facial injuries as she is in stable condition. The Marine was later identified as Lance Corporal Manuel Gomez, a motor vehicle operator in the Wing Support Squadron 171. And here is a video. Shitting himself.
That's the whole video.
That's
the whole video.
And that's it. Fucking, it's always the goddamn, I mean, it's also the Army too, but like.
I just imagine being this guy's corpsman, like, guys, fuck are we doing?
I don't know, man. Like it's.
I have so many questions, like why were his pants off?
And we wonder why we have the dumb shit in the safety briefs, man. It's so fucking ridiculous.
What was he trying to accomplish? Why was she 76? Why was his dick on the 76-year-old woman? Was this like a rub and tug a situation that was happening? He's in the street. Why was he rubbing his dick in the street? Who let him take his pants off? Where is this man's fucking Liberty partner?
What was that, battle buddy, essentially?
Libo buddy. They don't have a term for it, really.
A libo buddy?
Like libo partner. Yeah.
Libo partner.
Because the Marines make fun of the term battle buddy.
Oh, because libo buddy sounds much better.
That's just a Liberty partner. Like you're just someone that you have to go out and live. There's no real term for it, but they make fun of the term battle buddy.
I mean, battle buddy is a dumb term. You know,
every time I hear the term battle, I'm like, oh,
but like this is what happens, and this is why World War III is cranking off, because you know when you don't let Marines and soldiers fucking do their job, they get all pent up, man. They need to get it out. You know,
bored Marines fuck everything up.
Like this is what happens. Idle hands create problems. You know, and speaking of problems and daddy issues. So it was a terrible segue into our next topic, honestly.
Yeah, it was. It was
terrible. This sailor is saying that nothing in the UCMJ says that I can't. Sailor says Navy has to put up with her being a stripper.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it is either, especially if you're going to be in fucking uniform doing it like this.
It's
like this photo.
Like there is nothing that says in UCMJ you cannot strip. It's the same thing as the good order and discipline. That's all it is. That's what you're going to get in trouble for every single time.
So U.S. Navy sailor who made headlines in the past for being an exotic dancer in her off time can't seem to stay out of the spotlight, let alone off the stage. Jaden Ortiz, who lives in the West Coast, is around 23 years old and serves in the U.S. Navy Reserves.
That makes more sense.
So, I mean, doing it on your off time when you're not on duty is probably different, but it still follows under good order and discipline, right?
Yeah, but it's reserve. Like reserves have different set of rules because they're mostly civilians. I can only imagine that it's probably technically like not allowed, but it's not that big a deal. It's like that picture with her in uniform, like just spreading her ass cheeks there. That's probably one of the issues. Like you can't be in uniform doing that shit. Yeah,
definitely not, dude. I mean, you get in trouble for being in uniform for anything. He's a Marine. First to fight, he's loyal. Anyway, so in February of this year, she removed most of her content from her social media after it was discovered she was dancing in her uniform, rightfully so. But a newly discovered interview with her has revealed more details about her life as an exotic dancer while serving in the Navy.
Stripper. We can just say stripper.
Stripper, yeah. While appearing on the Bad Bitch Arena podcast, Ortiz told, what a name, right? Ortiz told the host that she joined the Navy at 18 years old after her mother, who serves on active duty, pressured her to do so. So basically, mom was like, I need you to get your fucking shit together and join the military.
Didn't work.
Clearly not. She claims that, I mean, on the other hand, like, it's not like our fucking military salary is enough to pay the bills anyway. This is probably way more lucrative, you know?
Depending on where she works, yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
She is in California. It was at West Coast.
How good or bad of a stripper she is. She claims that she didn't work as an exotic dancer during her first 2 years, but by the time she was 20, she was working on the pole. When asked by the host if her stripping was against any Department of Defense regulations or the UCMJ, she took a deep breath and paused before providing an answer. Just a long sigh.
That's what...
Not to my knowledge, she said. There's nothing in the UCMJ that says I can't shake some ass. Now, I wonder how extensively she looked at the fucking UCMJ for this. Because I'm willing to bet money that not very much.
None of them ever do.
No, they never. It's just, they never look at the rules. They just.
I know my rights. I don't think you do.
I think more of it is just like, I haven't heard of anybody else getting in trouble for it, so I don't think there is.
Well, she
versus actually looking into it.
Like we do.
No. Where there is any backlash, was there any backlash? The host asked. There was backlash, but schedule wise, I am in the reserve, so I can make it a lot. So it makes it a lot easier. Ortiz responded.
I agree with that. That's probably pretty true.
At the beginning, the Navy, were acting hella vanilla. She added. What does that mean?
What does that even mean?
She even doubled down.
We're too old for this.
I
think that means just,
they were acting
like,
so vanilla. They were acting really vanilla about it. Like, whatever the fuck, babe. Do you know what vanilla means? When someone
plain boring, I think.
Probably very.
Or
boring.
Like they weren't really doing anything about it.
No. She even doubled down by saying there are no rules against it, and they kind of just have to put up with it. We'll see. During the interview, the host went off to feature photos of Ortiz in her uniform. We have a picture of you in your uniform, the host said. You are probably the baddest bitch there. I doubt that.
Oh, yeah.
Serving as a boatswain's mate, which is bottom of the barrel for the Navy, Ortiz admits she doesn't really know how to do her job due to the fact that she hasn't served on a ship.
Which is fair if she's in reserves. I mean, it's a problem with a lot of reserves, especially in the Navy.
Yeah, I guess. Ortiz,
because most jobs in the Navy are kind of shitboard based, and like if you're just doing reserve shit on the weekends and maybe a little bit of training every year, like you're not really gonna know how to do your fucking job.
And we gotta do more training, guys. We gotta do more training.
Notional.
Ortiz went viral after she was training and noticed that she had been treated differently. Men were being nice to her, of course, while female supervisors took issue with her main job. Of course,
because they wanted to fuck her. That's what that was.
The dudes wanted to get some strange, and the women were jealous. Not jealous, but like women. It's funny. You ever notice that men are more supportive to each other than women are?
Yeah.
I noticed this too. Like, men will like be significantly more supportive to each other than women ever will be. And yeah, it's.
I think there's a comedian that I've listened to. He talks about like this old married guy was talking to this new married guy. He's like, she went and joined, she got like she's in these female best friend groups, and he's like, the old guy is watching and he thinks it's cute because he's freaking out, and he's like, give it time. Don't worry, it'll fall apart. My wife's been in like 6 book clubs.
Oh, dude.
All of them. It all falls apart.
And this is why women don't. It's funny because women are like, I hate men, but they also hate women more.
Yeah, I think women just hate women. Most of the things that are usually like things against women aren't because of guys. It's usually the competition of women against themselves. Even like,
I can relate. I've experienced that.
Like most of the time, say makeup. Most guys aren't gonna judge you for that. Or like when women put on makeup, especially in a long-term relationship, they're usually doing it because of the other women around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not doing, like, he might enjoy it. He's cool. Like, she's getting dressed up, whatever, but he doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't.
She's keeping the other women at bay.
So we're going to dive into some of the gaming news now. So Modern Warfare 3 released recently and was not received well by
I'm so shocked.
Most of the people in the community. In fact, it's been rated as the worst Call of Duty of all time. And it definitely shows, because it's like, we've talked about this before, where like Activision said that they were going to be doing away with the yearly launch cycle of Call of Duty, and immediately went back on that and released this. When I saw the announcement that Modern Warfare 3 was going to be announced, I'm like, there's no fucking way, because didn't they just say not long ago that they were going to be releasing a big DLC instead?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a big DLC, and you can tell that this is basically that. Everyone's like, "It's not a DLC,"
and they charge $70
for it. The base of
the
fucking game is MW2, It's just like an updated version.
And you even had like at the time before they changed they updated this, you had to launch MW2 in order to launch MW3.
What?
Did you see the video of Dr. Disrespect, like just like saying like trying to launch the game?
Yeah, that shit was hilarious. I was fucking dying with launching the campaign. How do I launch? Restart? Play the game. That shit was gold.
And,
that was priceless.
So the article here, before we actually get too deep into this, the article does say, it says Modern Warfare 3 devs deny rough development reports saying it was years in the making, which is bullshit.
Lies. The only thing I'll say may have been years in the making was the zombies, because that was Treyarch, and they've been doing at a minimum since Vanguard.
I will say the zombies in this one do look very interesting, but the rest of the game just doesn't. And you could see that, like, the way you could tell how half-baked it was because of how bad the spawns were. And not saying that the spawns in Call of Duty were ever really that great to begin with. This one's particularly bad.
Like a spawn will make or break a map, though.
It will. But then I've been seeing TikToks of, like, it puts everybody on that team in the same spawn location. And I saw a TikTok where, like, this one team was literally just standing in that spot, just killing everybody as they were spawning in.
Wow.
And the bodies were just
like, I've seen Spawn
up.
Trap.
And I would say Spawn Trap, but they weren't changing. This game wasn't changing the spawns. It was literally spawning everybody in the same spot. So there was no way. They were like everybody, even both teams were spawning in the same spot. So like they were all fighting each other in that one spot. And then I saw another one where it was spawning someone inside of a car and killing them. And every time they would respawn, it would put them in the same spot, and just the bodies started piling up because everybody in the team was spawning in the same location. The spawning is so bad that they've actually removed several MW3 maps because of the spawning being so fucking broken, right?
Yeah, like day one.
And it was like, how do they not check this before launch? Well, there's a lot of reports saying that the game was only in development for less than a year.
Like I've bought the game, so I played 2.
Oh, so you're part of the problem. Got it.
No, I bought the game for zombies. I didn't buy it.
Doesn't matter what you bought it for. You still paid $70 for this fucking jank DLC.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm loving zombies. Zombies is tits. Like I'm all in on the zombies. This shit is amazing.
Maybe more of the issues will highlight in this article. So let's get to it. So Sledgehammer Games studio head Aaron Hallen has refuted recent reports that Modern Warfare 3 had a rush development and that the team was forced to make it instead of Advanced Warfare 2. Although the release of Call of Duty game that remasters maps for the most popular game in the series, Modern Warfare 2, should be a reason for any COD fan to celebrate. The past few weeks have been anything but. MW3's multiplayer and single-player modes have both been poorly received by fans and critics since the game's launch, with it currently sitting at an eye-watering rating of 1.3 on Metacritic, indicating universal dislike.
So I always talked about one of the things is a great indication that it's a DLC or an updated version of a DLC. Basically, is it's called MW3. Nothing about it is fucking MW3.
No,
it's using old MW2 maps. Nothing of like it shits on the original MW3 because it has nothing about it in there.
No,
there's no like the survival mode, none of the original MW3 maps. It's all MW2 stuff.
And that's why everyone's been calling it MW 2.5 because it's basically MW2. And you could tell that the game was supposed to be DLC or a season because the story is so short and poorly and so badly written that it doesn't earn, like, spoiler alert, Soap dying. It was so half-ass, right?
Just throwing it out there.
I said spoiler alert first. So, fuck, if you didn't listen to spoiler alert. But Soap dying, right, was so, like, thrown together and half-hearted. Huh?
What's his face dies too?
Shepard?
Yep.
Well, that's in the scenes. But like Soap's death was so half-hearted and so thrown together that it didn't even feel like you didn't feel the gravity of it when Soap dies in Modern Warfare 3 in the first one, right?
Yeah, you don't even. So I understand the campaign to me was good up until that mission. Like I get why people don't like it because it's like the whole open combat thing, and it's like it's different than what they're used to. I get not liking that. I understand that. The majority, like outside of that aspect, I liked the campaign until that final mission where I was like, wait a minute, that was it. That was the end. I literally had to go back and replay it because I was like, there's no way that was the end. Like I had to have missed something. Nope. I was just like the rest of the story. I was like, cool. If you don't like the way it played out with the open combat, I get it. But
they also fucked no Russian. That was
absolutely. Yeah, that part frustrated me because it's 2023. It doesn't shock me. It's frustrating because they just fucking destroyed it.
You do nothing.
You don't do anything. It's an insult to the original one, and I know why they did it. I get it. I hated it, but it's whatever. The overall part of the campaign, I enjoyed most of it until that final mission, and it was just like, did we just run out of time? What happened?
Even the mission structure is like, because they went with a whole open world mission structure. Yeah, it just doesn't work. And the reason why it frustrates me to see that, and like I haven't given a fuck about COD in a long time.
It doesn't give the same impact. I can see that.
Well, it's lazy, and the reason why I say it's lazy is because they didn't have to make a new scene and setting for the mission structure. They just used Verdansk and other assets from Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and made them an open world to give you the idea of like something different. But at the same time, what it really looks like is that they were using assets they already had, so they didn't have to make new ones to create the mission structure and the setting. They didn't have to make a new setting. They already had a setting, so they just used an old setting and then just tweaked some things to make it seem a little different. That's it.
Which to me, speaking of old settings, the amount of Verdansk that was in this, if Call of Duty doesn't bring back Verdansk, on top of seeing OG Fortnite making literal record numbers 6 years after the game came out because they brought back the old one. If Call of Duty doesn't bring back Verdansk, just for the sake of
they'll bring it back because they know people will pay for it. I know that's exactly what they'll do. And I bet you anything when they bring back Verdansk, it's going to be you have to own Modern Warfare 3 to get it to play on it.
Well, maybe because it's Warzone is free.
Well, it is free, but you can only access now. Like there was someone showing in the menu, you can only access Warzone if you buy Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare 3. There's no way. You can't access Warzone anymore as a standalone. You have to fucking access it through one of the Modern Warfare 2 or 3 menus.
I don't think that's true.
Well, we'll look into it in a minute. So first, we're going to talk about, like, before we get in too far. So Sledgehammer put out a tweet. So Sledgehammer Games and our partner studios with whom we've collaborated in development. This has been the labor of love to lead the first ever back-to-back sequel in Call of Duty. We cannot wait to see our community's reaction to all that the entire game has to offer across campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. From the start of development, we have all been laser focused on creating the next groundbreaking Call of Duty game. Long before we wrapped up our previous game, we heard loud and clear from fans about the desire to play and stay and play together for longer within the same series. And that's what we delivered. The first true sequel in the franchise history. This is so bullshit. It is also why
that they heard loud and clear what the fans wanted.
Not even just that, but they're saying that like a true standalone back-to-back true sequel to the franchise. Now, it's first true sequel in franchise history. That's also bullshit. It's also why we added features like carry forward in the first time to honor investment our players have made in the Modern Warfare series. We're proud to be a team. I'm really okay.
If you're gonna piss on me, don't tell me it's fucking raining. All right.
Hang on. And why are the comments overly positive?
Paid comments.
These are. I wonder if this is weird. Like, there's all like this best Call of Duty ever. Like, what? You guys did an amazing job. And this one is literally DLC, first true sequel, my ass. Will you be taking action against the hackers? No, okay. So somehow the game is horrible. Advanced Warfare 2 would have saved the franchise. I think this is a lot of bullshit.
You're never gonna satisfy this community, for one. It's always gonna be, to me, the most negative ones are always gonna be the loudest, and that's gonna be the ones.
In fact, this one it's mostly positive. Fraud selling $70 DLC.
Yeah, but those aren't the ones that you fucking hear about. You never hear about the positive ones because our natural drive as humans is we gravitate towards the negative. That's why negativity is always in the limelight, and they're the loudest ones. You can't satisfy the COD community no matter what. For one, the loudest ones are always going to be negative. I always take things with a grain of salt because, like I said, I relatively enjoyed the campaign until the very end. I love zombies. There's issues with it as far as some missions and everything, but like a phenomenal is to my extent.
I don't think this game is worth its price.
I can't. Well, no, I wouldn't say it's worth $70. I can't speak for multiplayer because I played like 2 matches, but.
Well, Bloomberg reported. So it says, according to a report from Bloomberg, Modern Warfare 3's troubled reception is likely in part due to its rough development cycle, which they're denying even was the case, which is, I think they're lying. The report claims that the game, which was originally rumored to be an expansion to Modern Warfare 2, which it definitely feels like, was made in just 16 months, around half of the usual amount of time for a Call of Duty game. The report also claimed that Sledgehammer Games originally wanted to make a new Advanced Warfare game before being told that they were making Modern Warfare 3. Seemingly in response to that report, Sledgehammer Games studio head Aaron Hallen shared a statement on Twitter, refutes several of its claims, including that it had a rush development and that the team was originally wanting to make a different game before being placed in MW3. We have worked hard to deliver on this vision, which has been years in the making. Anything said to the contrary is simply not true. Actually, I think, dude, your fucking statement's untrue. There's no way. There is no way. They're just lying. They're saving face. Hallen said, we're incredibly proud of MW3 and both the full game experience at launch and the upcoming year of content we planned for the community. And the thing is, the game is not a full game, right? And even more so now because they've had to pull shit because it's so broken. It's so half-baked in a lot of areas. In fact, there's one. So in order to unlock the Semtex, right?
I know the armory unlocks is bullshit.
The daily missions to unlock things. One of them, I saw this. You need to unlock the Semtex. One of the daily missions is to get 2 kills with Semtex.
With the Semtex, yep.
And it's like you need to get kills with the thing you need to unlock it. Like what?
Yeah. That's only for that specific one. I think the armory unlock system is pretty much just as bad as the system where you had to use this weapon to get to. I think it's worse. You had to use this weapon to get to level 17 to get to unlock this one. You had to get this one to a certain level to get this attachment.
I remember that.
It's similar in that ass pain, but. Like, it's easier technically to unlock things, but it's still fucking stupid that you have to do it this way.
The whole unlocking system from MW2 was the worst I'd ever seen. It's like, why the fuck do I need to unlock this one weapon? I have to use another weapon, but that's locked. So in order to unlock that weapon, I have to use this weapon. But to unlock the attachments for the said weapon, I have to use this weapon, which is locked. So I have to use this. It's so weird.
The way that the armory works too is you can queue up 3 of them. So if you're in a game or you're doing stuff and you unlock one, the next one will be activated. But if you don't have them selected, you're not unlocking anything.
Right. It's dumb.
So you're just wasting your fucking time. So
it even says here at the end.
It doesn't tell you that either.
No, it doesn't tell you that. You have to figure that out on your own. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier hasn't responded to the team's statement and claims that seemingly go against his report, but it's worth noting that he also previously reported that Modern Warfare 3 started life as an expansion for Modern Warfare 2 before being turned into a full premium release. That I absolutely believe.
So,
I believe
when he was talking about the team being like proud and stuff, I get that, especially if you worked on it.
I mean, be proud that you worked on it. That's great and all. But the thing is, it's like this game was not supposed to be a full-fledged game. It was supposed to be an expansion. and it shows.
That's why most of the stuff that you see that comes out where people are saying like the contrary, and the company is like, no, that's not true. It's all coming from developers. The developers are like,
no, it's actually
it's doing our job.
It's not just the developers. It's coming from high in the food chain with the development companies.
Well, that's what I mean. They're the ones that are actually on the ground doing the game, making the game and everything. They're the ones leaking this information that people are talking about. And it's the high up, like the publishers and everything that are like, no, that's fucking bullshit. Don't believe that person. They're full of shit. They don't even work here anymore. Or they're just completely discontenting it.
Yeah.
And it's all the high up people trying to save face.
I'm hoping that people will stop buying this fucking game. Let it cook for a couple years, you know? Like, stop paying this price every year, because you're paying $70 as a premium fucking price. And I know as soon as Microsoft takes over, which that all went through, once Microsoft actually gets involved, like fully gets involved, I guarantee you we're going to see a longer development cycle for these games. They're not going to be cranking out every year. And that's why I think MW3 was pushed out like this, because Activision's like, let's launch it as much as we can before Microsoft takes full control of this.
What they really need is a game to compete with it, because COD hasn't really had any competition for years. Ever since Battlefield, I would say since Battlefield 1, maybe 5. Ever since Battlefield 1, because that was like, to me, that was the last like truly hyped and like phenomenally done Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went down from there. Ever since then, what's been the competition in the Call of Duty?
There hasn't been.
Halo, which fucking was trash. We found that out. And so everyone was like, oh, Halo is going to take over COD. Came out, garbage. And they haven't had any competition. So they're like, they have no reason to innovate or change anything, because they're like, people will just fucking buy it anyways.
I know. And
they need that competition.
And I agree. They do. Regiment in this podcast is also partnered with BR Paradox. BR Paradox is a company that specializes in custom-built PCs. So if you have an idea for a cool custom-built PC, they can definitely give you the hookup on that. But if you're not in the market for custom PCs, BR Paradox is a wide array of pre-built PCs that you could choose from at great prices. And if you're not in the market right now for a new PC, BR Paradox will definitely hook you up with an optimization. Optimizations take around 10-15 minutes to do, and they're very awesome. I highly recommend them. I had my PC optimized by them, and it's never run smoother since. BR Paradox also has a list of renowned customers ranging from LeBron James, Chris Brown, members of FaZe Clan, and even Angela White from your favorite orange and black site, if you know what I mean. So head on over to brparadox.com to get yourself a PC today, or an optimization. And remember to use promo code REGIMENT at checkout. That's promo code REGIMENT down here at checkout. All right, let's get into our next topic here, which is EA. So we got Microsoft, EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Epic face game addiction lawsuit. Parent issue. Four of the biggest companies in the industry have been targeted by a lawsuit accusing them of enabling video game addiction. A complaint filed on October 30th in the Eastern District of Arkansas, spotted by Insider Gaming, names Microsoft, EA, Activision, Ubisoft, and Epic Games, as well as some of their studios, as defendants. The suit lists 14 counts of action, including strict liability and negligence for failure to warn users of games' addictive qualities, deceit and fraudulent misrepresentation, fraudulent inducements, and violation of Deceptive Trade Practice Act. The full list of defendants are Activision Blizzard, including Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Microsoft, Epic Games, EA, including EA Dice, Ubisoft, and including Ubisoft Montreal. The lawsuit states that a rapid spread of video game addiction as a result of these companies' concerted effort to get consumers addicted to their games in order to generate high profits.
It's the same with social media. They want you to play as much as possible or be on that platform as much as possible.
Yeah. The plaintiff, an Arkansas mother, filed the suit on behalf of her child, a minor, identified only as GD, and her husband, the minor's father. So my son and my husband, so it's a pissed off mom. My son and my husband don't get off the video game, and I don't like it, and it pisses me off. My husband, all he does when he gets home from work wants to play Call of Duty. My son won't get off Fortnite. According to the filing, GD is 13 years old and plays video games 12 to 14 hours per day.
That's a lot.
Despite parental efforts to limit his time, he primarily plays Fortnite, Rainbow Six Siege, Battlefield, and COD. And is said to
What are these parental efforts?
And is said to have spent approximately $350 per month on gaming.
Excuse me?
Where do you get that money from, Mom?
First of all, I have so many questions. 12 to 14 hours, that's a lot. Even
that's a fucking lot, man.
That is a lot. That's half a day. Right?
Dude, 12 to 14 hours. Like, does your kid not go to school during the day?
Good Lord.
Like, what the fuck?
So many questions. And then I want to know, what are these parental efforts that you're using to limit this time? I call bullshit.
So in total, it is claimed that GD has spent around $3,000 on in-game transactions and downloadable content, not including the cost of consoles, games, and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. By the way, he can't just go to the store and buy that shit. You got to buy it for him, you know? So it's like, you're not fucking...
That means he has access to the card, and there's no parental...
Right. And on top of that, it's not like he can go buy the consoles and the games. Maybe the games on the...
Not including the consoles.
Well, okay, so yeah, so like, not including the cost of the consoles. By the way, he can't just go buy the fucking console on his own.
It's the skins. I guarantee you it's the skins.
So the defendants are saying that the games are marketed and sold video games, including those played by her son. The defendant has specifically developed and designed to cause addiction experienced by GD and other users. So she thinks that the game is meant to be addictive for her kid, not the fact that her kid is addicted because she doesn't get him off of it.
I mean, they are meant to be kind of addictive in a sense.
In a sense, yeah, but that's like people with no self-control. If you're an adult, that's your fucking fault. And if you're a parent and your kid's the problem, you're the problem. Yeah. So in necessary care, parents' economic loss, statutory punitive damages, legal fees, the amounts are expected to be determined in court. So the suit also cites 16 patents that affect minors and their in-game spending, including Activision patent for customized messaging campaigns based on the player's behavioral data, delivering promotions for microtransactions or DLC triggered by how many matches they win or lose. Another Activision patent for modifying the difficulty of multiplayer matches in a way that will encourage microtransaction purchases, for example, putting players with premium items into a match with those who might be considered buying them. The Microsoft patent.
Their engagement-based matchmaking.
I know. The Microsoft patent notifying players that they will not unlock achievement in a demo or trial version of the game unless they purchase the full title, which...
That's okay.
That's pretty standard, honestly.
Yeah, that makes
EA
sense.
patent for allowing newer users to purchase in-game support more cheaply than experienced players.
That's kind of fucked.
So there's more incentive for a new player to buy shit than
to keep them into the game because they're like, oh, it's cheaper for me.
So the lawsuit also explores the monetization schemes that are designed to attract whales, how cloud gaming enhances defendants' predatory activities by opening up more access to their games, and how the defendants and their monetization have created a generation of gaming addicts. But all in all, a lot of this sounds like if she's bitching that her fucking 12-year-old is sucked into these games,
yeah,
that's your fault.
Yeah. Like I get some of this. Some of this article I can be on board with because like the way that they go about some of these things is fucked up and it is very predatory.
Same. Yeah, I agree.
It shouldn't be allowed. However, in the majority of the sense, especially the way that this is sounding, you're just a shit parent. Like I want to know what these parental things are going on.
Right.
Like if you I don't have children, so I can't say 100% in this, especially in this fucking day and age. You say one wrong thing to your kid, and they'll be like, "I'm calling Child Protective Services."
I know, fucking kids, and have too much power now. But yeah, spending 12 to 14 hours a day on a video game
that's a lot.
That's not the video game's fault.
No,
no,
it's not.
It's not the game's fault. That's the parents. That's your fault for not stopping him.
Absolutely.
Like, and I get it. Like, they're probably like, well, he throws a fit if I don't let him. And it's like, get him, like, then let him whoop his fucking ass. You know? I don't know. That whole thing, it's a slippery slope to get into, but
yeah, that it is.
Speaking of slippery slopes, okay, so we're gonna talk
we already
about.
Talked about the stripper.
I know we're talking about Bungie.
Oh, you said slippery slope. I thought never mind.
So, oh yeah. Now, I know people in school that are trying to be game developers, but I tell them all the time, like, honestly, man, if you're going to be a dev, do it for an indie studio. You're not going to make as much, but at the same time, your job stability is going to be better. And the reason why I say that is because you have studios like Bungie, like it's weird because
I think your workload is better too.
And yeah, that too. Like you look at the games industry in the last 2 years have been some of the most profitable for the games industry. However, they see the most layoffs despite the profit. Normally you see layoffs associated with lack of profit, right?
Yeah.
But lately, studios have been doing well and laying off lots of people to cut redundancies and shit. And it's
so the top can have bigger bonuses, and they're like,
and you've been seeing that a lot too, where you have like
don't need these peasants.
You have these top people like with better bonuses and all this shit, and then like they cut at the bottom, they don't cut at the top. And honestly, if you look at it, an executive makes so much money that they could easily just opt out of that bonus to save their employees if they really wanted to. They could afford to. And me, if I was the owner of, if I was the top executive of a game studio, and this is just me, I'm a huge gaming enthusiast to the point where if I was ever in that level, like all these people are valuable to the development of my game. I can't make good games without good people making those games. Why would I ever get rid of them? I can afford to take a cut. I might not be able to afford to give them a bonus, but I'll do what I can. But I'll do whatever I can to not lose those people. And
I think it's one of the reasons that COD has gone downhill so badly.
Oh, I know. I mean, you see this happen. You saw it happen with Raven. Like they laid off all these fucking contractors. Yeah, right.
Like everything is the people that are on the ground doing the work. That's why everything is so rushed, because they don't have enough people. No. They don't have enough time to do it with the amount of people that they have. But they're making billions of dollars off of these fucking microtransactions. That's clearly not going to people, more workers, or the development of the game. It's going to the higher ups lining their fucking pockets.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, we can't afford to fucking pay these workers.
So what we're talking about right now is the Bungie layoffs. So Bungie is the latest Sony studio to be hit with layoffs. Yet another PlayStation studio is hit with layoffs. This time it's Destiny's developer Bungie. Sony had been going around doing some cuts, and Bungie definitely got put on the chopping block. So reports are coming in of mass layoffs. And this happened last week, by the way. So reports are coming out of mass layoffs at Bungie today as developers reveal that they have just had their jobs axed. This makes Destiny developer the latest PlayStation-owned studio to face job cuts following on from Little Big Planet developer Media Molecule. The full scope of the layoffs is unclear at this point, which at this point now it is more clear that about 8% of the staff have been cut. We're mostly seeing community managers come forward with the news that they've lost their positions at Bungie. Staff are seemingly being informed of the cuts, with Bungie reportedly holding staff meeting later today to discuss the move. So Bungie hasn't commented on the news publicly yet, which at this point they had. But workers affected by the layoffs have come forward. Many of them are now publicly looking for work, so the news of job cuts seems to have come as a surprise. Let's see.
Always a surprise to the workers.
So Liana Rupert, who's been well known in the Destiny community, working in games when you have high anxiety during a mass layoff trend across the whole industry, is panicking at every new meeting invite like, is this one where I lose everything? Is super fun. Well, my heart is breaking for all affected. I am now looking for opportunities. I have 21 years of games industry experience in media, production, and community management. I'm processing. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what to do from here. This was my home. I feel so lost. So they even laid off the lady that designed the Halo logo.
Wow.
So the reason behind such a drastic move isn't apparent, but it almost definitely tied to the job losses felt throughout PlayStation-owned studios this year. Naughty Dog wasn't immune to this, getting rid of workers contracted to work on the Last of Us factions. Support Studio Visual Arts also is another to face job losses, and it's not clear if PlayStation is done hitting companies with cuts as we approach the end of the year. So Jason Schreier was kind of the first to really break this on top of the people coming forward. So Destiny 2 developer Bungie is the latest PlayStation studio to have layoffs. Full scope isn't clear yet, but CEO Pete Pearson emailed the company this morning to say they'll be having a team meeting today to talk about some news today coming out of Bungie as staff are informed. Of course, PlayStation is far from the only media giant laying off staff this year. Microsoft had its own round of cuts towards the beginning of the year, particularly felt throughout Bethesda and 343, who did Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Embracer Group, which appears to be dropping studios as dramatically as it is acquiring them not so long ago, which is true. They were scooping up and buying studios and then shutting them down. So this article is kind of like must have been published early on. So it says it isn't clear how this move will affect Destiny 2's ongoing development. But we do know that the expansion for Final Shape for Destiny 2 was also delayed as a result.
I thought the light or whatever it was called was the last one.
Beyond Light? No.
Yeah.
No. Or Lightfall. Lightfall? No.
Lightfall. That's
not light. Not
I thought they said
Lightfall.
that was supposed to be the last major one.
Final Shape is the last major one. But the problem is, so like the cuts, so it's funny because as the news was rolling out, the higher ups were blaming the player base for the layoffs, saying that last year was not a successful year for Bungie because Lightfall didn't do too well. And the seasons following it didn't do too well because they increased the prices of season pass, but also offered not much more in content with a season pass. So naturally, the Destiny player base has been extremely frustrated with Bungie in the last year, and the executives are blaming the player base for the.
Of course,
and the scope of it was pretty much that they were just they were saying that, and now we're seeing delays. So Season of the Lost, which is the season that's going on now, is going to be a 7-month season because of the delay for the next expansion. So the expansion,
it sounds like they're like, we're gonna blame the player base, but we're not gonna look at the actual problem. Because since the player base is our market and they're complaining, why are they fucking complaining?
I don't know. The problem and like more and more people were coming out saying that like the developers were trying to tell the higher ups, like, we need to give the players what they want because we are not showing them the love that they need. And these things that they want, we're not giving it to them. And like this expansion that they just had was so not well done to the point where the player base was like, this is fucking shit. Like we just come off of a really good expansion, which was the Witch Queen, and rolled into this expansion, which sucked. And now, it'd be one thing to, when they announced the delay for Final Shape, which was after the layoffs, it'd be one thing to say, we want to give you the best experience that we can, so we're gonna delay it. But because the delay came after the layoffs, no one has hope that it's going to be good because you want it to be as good as you possibly can, but meanwhile you cut 8% of your staff. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really clear at the time of who they cut. It doesn't seem too much of the dev team was cut. Some of it was, but mostly it was marketing and shit.
So it's like you can't fuck your consumer community and then be like, what's the problem? Why is there such an issue?
I know. It's kind of fucked. And even like the CEO came under fire too because of the layoffs with his response. His response was not a good one. It was actually pretty shit. So Bungie's CEO comes under fire over mass layoffs and tone-deaf response. So Bungie CEO Pete Pearsons is criticized over layoffs as it's reported that the job cuts were decided internally and not by Sony. So Bungie CEO Pete Pearsons has confirmed reports of mass layoffs within the company, describing it as a sad day for the studio. However, this also comes amid reports that it was Bungie who made the call to cut jobs, not Sony, leading many to label the studio statement tone deaf. There was more shit that he said. I don't think it's in this article.
I want to know what his salary is and if he recently like got a bonus and shit.
Probably. I don't know. So these reports have not been confirmed, but it's not clear who is to blame for all the job losses at Bungie, which is true because they still haven't said officially why this happened. Besides the Destiny 2 didn't do too hot last year. So, however, Pearson's statement, it's further criticized for not going far enough, as it's not clear what steps he took, if any, to avoid seeing so many workers lose their jobs with little to no warning. He says, today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio, says Pearson, speaking about his Twitter account. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long in the future. These are truly talented people, and if you have openings, I would highly recommend each and every one of them. Somebody replied to this, I know if I was a former employee of Bungie, the last thing I would want to see is a tweet like this from yourself. It's very tone-deaf and feels like a slap in the face to anyone impacted by the layoffs. Why praise them now? The damage is done and you're largely responsible. Which is true. The statement has largely come under fire, which I already said. So it says, this feels very incredibly tone-deaf, Pete, as says this Twitter user. These were your people, and the ink wasn't even dry yet before putting out a statement about how great they were, but not great enough to keep them.
True.
So was the $1 billion from Sony that was set aside for employee retention only for retaining C-suite guys? Which is true. So but Sony gave them like $1 billion something dollars, right? And it was supposed to be set aside for employee retention.
Oh yeah. Oh, it only, we know who it retained.
And Bungie didn't do that, right? So indeed, as we reported back in February, Sony did indeed claim it was spending $1.2 billion on staff retention. This would be to avoid the round of layoffs we've come to expect after a huge acquisition like the one between Sony and Bungie. But now it's not clear how this money was spent or if any of it was put to use. Since news of the layoffs was first reported, Paul Tassi of Forbes has shared claims that the cuts came from Bungie itself and not Sony, while elaborating that many still be part of the wider cost cutting at Sony. He alleges that the decision to cut so many jobs would have come from Bungie's management. Yet, if Sony had given the company far less funding than it needed to operate, it's not clear what other choices it would have had. So it says new info about the Bungie layoffs per source. The layoff decision came directly from Bungie management, not Sony. This is not about replacing Bungie employees with their own people, because they did remove the job openings that they were hiring for before they did this. Many employee benefits, though not health insurance, only last until the end. Now, hang on. I got to open this to read all of it. Only lasts until the end of the month if you're let go. Laying people off on the 30th means a single additional day of coverage. So many employees had uninvested shares as a result of the Sony purchase. These shares would be received based on staying with the company for a certain number of years following the sale. But those shares revert to Bungie if you leave or even if you're fired, which is what's happening now. Many are those affected. So pretty much, and there's another thing that like this layoff happened right at the end of the fiscal year. So additional, this may be part of a wider cost cutting at Sony multiple areas, but as an independent entity, who gets cut, the timing and terms above are Bungie's decision. To clarify an earlier report, health insurance lasts until the severance ends. Other benefits end today.
So it sounds like it's a way to get around people like having their shares and everything too. So the company will save even more money.
Right. So all the money that these people would have had are now taken to Bungie because of the way that the shares work, that if they leave or they're fired or let go because they didn't have their shares for a certain amount of time, Bungie gets all of that back.
It's crazy.
I know. And that's why they're legally able to do it, because that was the contract. That was the agreement.
Yeah, that was the agreement, because that means that you understood the terms and conditions.
So, and it sucks too, because it's like, and there was another statement where the CEO of Bungie put out a statement saying that we kept the right people. And I noticed that wasn't in there.
Okay.
And everyone was like, how fucking dare you say that? Like, it makes us think that like we weren't the right people. What do you mean you kept the right people? Who were the right people? You know,
all the fucking suits.
And on one breath, you said, if you have openings, I highly recommend them. And in another tweet, you say, we kept the right people. So it's like, on one hand, you're saying hire these people, but on the other hand, you're saying they weren't good enough to stay here.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. And the way that the games industry is so shitty when it comes to like these way they do these layoffs and stuff. I wanted to be a game developer so bad, but being inside the gaming journalist, quote unquote, part of this, seeing how the industry works, no fucking way. All the heart and fun for developing a video game has been just taken by corporate.
It's always and we've seen it all throughout the past couple of years that we've even been podcasting together, that all of the most successful, like truly successful games and games that get acclaimed by the actual fan base, meaning the fucking players, is independent companies.
Yeah.
Like ones that aren't massive AAA, like where the publisher tells the fucking developers what to do. It's where the developer is the publisher. And it's usually, that means, I mean, that technically means independent. But like take Baldur's Gate 3.
I was about to say, Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate, definitely going to be up for Game of the Year. Definitely going to be nominated for Game of the Year, if not win it. And you don't see them cutting people. And
like there's only AAA very studios. Few far between games that are like Spider-Man is one of the few games that I'll say that has like an oversight of a AAA game that's actually good.
Yeah.
And it's consistent in its acclaim as well. Because it's technically Sony.
It's technically Sony, but like if Sony really is doing cuts, maybe Insomniac Games is going to see some cuts because they're under Sony's umbrella. I mean, and it has me wondering what about Santa Monica? Because I noticed that like studios that are not owned by AAA
like
publishers,
God of War and shit.
Yeah, like studios that are not owned by AAA publishers, you don't ever really see them after a successful launch lay people off. However, with AAA studios, you will see a successful launch almost go hand in hand with mass layoffs, and it doesn't make sense
because that extra money is going to the top people.
And imagine being a developer and being so proud of your work and thinking that like, wow, this was a successful game. Like, I can't wait to work on the next one. And then find out we did a good job. You're done. What?
Yeah. Yep. Your money is going to the top people and your services are no longer needed.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, where the fuck are the profits going then? You know?
If I don't wonder at all. We know where they're going.
We know where they're going. And I hope one day it'll come to light where they're like on paper where it's going, so that people can actually see this kind of shit and something can be done. Because
it is on paper, but it's fucked up because half of the time it's like locked behind privacy stuff. Like you're not allowed to see all the full financials, and that's how people are able to do shady shit.
I know,
because even like the quarterly reports, you only have to really report certain stuff, or it can be grouped together with things.
Yeah. Speaking of shady shit, back to military news, kids. Army general says moldy barracks are a discipline problem. I know. I don't
think that's so. This, I think I brought up earlier, like the angry cops thing. I think this actually might have been the statement that was taken out of context.
We'll see. We'll see. So mold in Army barracks has become an increasingly common problem at bases around the country. But
no, it's not. It's been a problem.
It's been a problem. But the issue isn't the mold, according to the commander of the 1st Armored Division, but rather discipline within the Army. Soldiers Major General James P. Eisenhower III said simply needed to be better about adulting. And the general wants to be clear, he meant that negatively. Of course he did. Eisenhower made the remarks on Wednesday, October 11th at a panel in the Association of the United States Army Conference. He and Lieutenant General Omar Jones, IV, took questions from the crowd, including from a soldier who asked about military housing. There are some areas that still need to be that are still dilapidated, the soldier asked. How do we avoid being on the Army times, mold, asbestos, and so forth? Eisenhower said the biggest way of addressing is a discipline problem among soldiers. I do use this as a pejorative term, and it's adulting, he told the crowd at AUSA. But a lot of times we just need to teach young soldiers and young family members what is appropriate and what is part of their obligation and basic responsibility as an adult. Mold has been an increasing and major issue with enlisted soldiers, with serious cases of mold reporting in multiple bases, including Fort Stewart, Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg, and others. Eisenhower pointed to contributing factors such as climate and humidity at certain bases, but continued with his comments on discipline.
That's what it was. I remember.
So
he wasn't talking about discipline in the sense of like you should just clean your room. He was talking about the discipline of the leadership of like reporting it, doing something about it. And that's where when like Angry Cops went further because he had the full discussion. It goes further into talking about it. It does need to be addressed. He's like, it's a discipline problem, meaning the leadership should do something about it. And he's like, well, that doesn't really matter when you have the large corporations that are getting paid the money say that they are, and they're not actually doing it.
Right. That's also the other big issue is like the people that are supposed to be fixing this shit are not fixing it.
And saying that they are.
Yes.
And getting paid for fixing nothing.
So this is what he said. I've got it good at Fort Hood compared to Fort Stewart or Fort Liberty, where the mold isn't really a problem for us. I will tell senior leaders I don't have a mold problem. I have a discipline problem, Eisenhower said, because just the lack of humidity, we're not under the same conditions. We have had some mold problems, but that's from some leaky pipes we didn't discover until it was too late, and there was a quick way to fix it. It's acute. But at the end of the day, we still had young men and women who called the hotline and say, I've got black mold in my shower and it's in the grout because they haven't cleaned it. Okay, so let's...
I do use this in a pejorative term, and it's adulting. But a lot of times we just need to teach young soldiers and young family members what is appropriate and what is part of their obligation and basic responsibility as an adult. I've got it good at Fort Hood compared to Fort Stewart or Fort Liberty, where mold really isn't a problem for us. And I will tell senior leaders, I don't have a mold problem, I have a discipline problem. Because just the lack of humidity, we're not under the same conditions. We have had some mold problems, but that's from leaky pipes we didn't discover until it was too late, and there's a quick way to fix it. It's acute. But at the end of the day, we still have young men and women who will call a hotline and say, I have black mold in my shower, and it's on the grout. It's because they haven't cleaned it.
So there's more background to that, to where he was talking about as an officer, as a fucking general, at another barracks somewhere on another base. He was like, oh, this is unsat. And I'm thinking, if the barracks for the general are unsat, what do you think the fucking enlisted barracks look like?
I mean, like I've said this about Italy before, we had a problem with mosquitoes getting through our pipes, right? And we kept addressing this issue over and over again about how, hey, and they blamed us. And it was like, oh, we can't control the fucking mosquitoes, right?
Of course I did.
So, and like we would have to basically be in a mosquito net in our barracks because the older barracks had mosquitoes in the pipes. The newer ones were fine. Aside from the fact that the elevators are broken, some other maintenance issues like the fucking climate control in the barracks room weren't working. And that's mostly because it had to be, the stipulation was it had to be a certain temperature for X amount of days in a row for them to turn the air on. And just because it was like 2 degrees colder that next day, on that third day, oh, we're not turning the air on. So it was an extreme temperature. It had to be like 80-something degrees outside for 3 days in a row. And if it wasn't that temperature or higher on that third day, they would basically start that 3 days in a row over again.
Mm-hmm.
So we would
we
would have days where we would have people heat catting inside of the barracks room because it was so hot.
In Great Lakes, it was similar. There was at least in the barracks that I was in, it was the old Navy Gateway Inn, whatever, and you couldn't really control the temperature in your room. You sort of could. If it was cooling, you could turn it down some, turn it up a little bit. If it was heating, you could turn it down some, turn it up a little bit. But generally, it was set. It was set temperature. You couldn't really change anything. And usually because of the way that the weather is there now, everything's like pushed to the right. So it stops being cold in like April, May timeframe, right? And so it would be balls hot in the barracks. But because it's not a certain ambient whatever temperature outside for that, like you mentioned, that certain amount of time, they don't do anything. They don't change anything. But I'm like, we're dying on the inside. Literally, it's 90 fucking degrees. Some people would have pictures and recordings. They would put like a thermometer in their room, record it, and be like, look, it's literally 93 degrees in this fucking room, doing nothing about it. One, that's where some of that mold is going to be coming from, because of the humidity and everything, people sweating for one. And people were buying unauthorized shit. I know, hell, this AC unit right behind me is literally a result of that barracks, because I would plug that shit in during the daytime, have AC in my room, put that shit in my closet so I wouldn't get inspected for it, for having like an unauthorized piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's stupid. And yeah, it does cause that mold issue. So the mold issue is one of several urgent concerns and problems facing service members in military housing. Last month, the Government Accountability Office released a report outlining the scale of the issue. The report, Poor Living Conditions Undermine Quality of Life and Readiness, documented multiple instances of broken utilities, such as air conditioning and fire alarms, plus black mold and even raw sewage inside of the barracks. The GAO noted that the military does not reliably assess conditions in the barracks, which pose serious health and safety risks. Lieutenant General Jones also gave the answer to the question in the AUSA going before Eisenhower. For his part, he said the Army leaders need to do more for enlisted soldiers on the matter, and spoke of his own experience with poor housing. Eisenhower went afterward, agreeing in part with Jones, but then made his adulting comments. He finished his remarks by saying soldiers can solve the matter themselves. No, we can't, sir. No, the fuck we can't. There's a lot of shit that we can't fucking solve ourselves. And you want to know why? Because in the case like what Doc just said, okay, well, you know, the climate and the climate control doesn't work for us because it's, you know, it's not controlled by us. So we have to use other means to fucking make it work, which are unauthorized, and we get hemmed up for it. And then whenever we do try to take care of it ourselves, we get in trouble for it. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck do you want us to do? You know?
And if you report it, it's out of your control if the people fix it or not. And you're like, yo.
Not to mention deployment, for example. I've seen so many times when people were coming back from deployment to their barracks room and everything in their fucking locker or in their closet being covered in mold while they were gone. Because they don't have
seen those videos where the whole room is
just
covered.
The whole room is covered in mold. Their uniforms are covered in mold. Everything in their closet and bathroom are covered in mold. They weren't even there. They couldn't do anything. They were deployed. So what the fuck? You know, you want to say it's a discipline problem, but we're not there to take care of it. So how is that a discipline problem? It's my fault because there's mold everywhere because I didn't clean. I was downrange. What do you want me to do? Fucking say, hey, sir, I need to fly home back to base so I can clean my room, make sure that my shit's not covered in mold when I'm gone. No, absolutely fucking not. That's not how that works. Everybody knows that's not how that works. So that's how we stay out of the Army Times. If you want to put it, if you want to put that away, he said, in many cases they've either misdiagnosed the problem or they could solve the problem themselves. You're so full of shit. Your fucking eyes are brown. Soldiers report and file maintenance requests for issues in the barracks, but the response to those requests can be slow or not enough to deal with the massive mold growth. Service members, or not at all. Service members even started to try to deal with the issue on their own in unique ways. Recently, soldiers at Fort Stewart created a mold detecting device that monitors the conditions such as humidity that lead to black mold breaking out. The Army is
created a mold detecting device.
So, yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what that even means. We'll click on it in a second. The Army is looking for billions of dollars to update and repair barracks. Last month, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Army for Installations, Housing, and Partnerships said that it's more than a fifth of the Army's 67. I think that's supposed to be 6,700, or a comma's misplaced.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be 6,700.
We're marked as poor.
Well, it might actually be 67,000. That would make more sense.
67.
Because if it's talking about all of the Army's barracks, 67,000 sounds like it makes a lot more sense.
What is this? To battle moldy barracks, Fort Stewart soldiers built their own mold detectors. So PFC Salem has started working on the new Army Innovation Lab at Fort Stewart, where his fellow soldiers returning from deployments began discovering black mold in their barracks. Soldiers were posting pictures and videos, and the mold had infiltrated their barracks on social media pages like Army What the Fuck and TikTok that made it explode. Pictures showed barracks ceilings, walls taken over by black rings of mold. The fungus lined air vents and spread to troops' uniforms and furniture. It's below what most people outside the military would consider standard, and they would want their soldiers living in. Than what they would want their soldiers living in. So let's see what this even is. We did not expect to find the greatest threat to our soldiers right now to be within its own living areas. Let's see, what is this detection device?
The MCAT one. The MCAT is a 3D printed device.
Oh yeah. So in this conditions, the MCAT app triggers an alert in barracks managers, leadership, whoever. So they made an app,
but it's a device that they made. So it's a legitimate thing that they did make, and it's not like a soldier just happened to be super smart and put it together.
Well, no, I think somebody was super smart, came up with the idea, and then implemented it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And the Army was like, yeah, let's use that.
Listen to this.
They got something here.
Among the Army's 6,700 barracks, 23% are classified as poor and failing condition.
Yep. Only a fifth? I'd call bullshit.
I mean, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's bad.
You know what? What better way to fucking re-enlist? Or better reason?
Better reason to fucking join or re-enlist in the first place. You get that black mold exposure, baby. Fucking non-service related respiratory issues.
Shit.
But dude, and even it's not even just the barracks. The off-post housing is also fucking shitty. I went to the VA last week, and I was driving by the off-post housing. You know, the white fenced-off area?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just driving by, those houses look like shit. And those fences are falling apart. Like, there are parts of the fence that are laying on the ground, folded over, broken. And it's like, you expect the sailors to fix that? Someone should be fixing it. You expect them to fix that? Like, most of them probably don't even know fucking how to use a drill, let alone fix that. Which I'm not saying anything against them, but like for the most part, people that join the military don't know how to do that kind of shit, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's because they were never taught, right? Some of them are lucky enough to have grown up in, you know, a home where they had to work on shit, so they know how, right? But most
of child abuse these days.
Apparently it is. but now you have most of the lower enlisted that are joining, they don't have the skills to do that kind of shit. They don't know how. And you expect them to fucking renovate, and it's not their job, for one. They can't afford to do that, for two. And like, but yet you still expect them to fucking maintain that. Like, my siding is falling off, my roof is falling apart. You expect me to pay for that? Fuck no. My fence is falling apart. Anybody can from the outside can just walk onto my property. Even though
then half the time.
Meanwhile, there's a gate where supposed to be checking IDs to even get onto that property. But the fence in my backyard's on the ground where anybody can walk onto my property, and they don't have to go through the fucking gate.
And half of the time, those people are always at work being overworked in the first place.
Yeah.
So what time are they supposed to fix this?
And the off-post housing in Italy wasn't terrible. They were very hardcore about the perimeter being secure, and the buildings being maintained. It's very interesting how Italian houses are. So they're all Italian structures. The only thing missing is the fucking steel shutters that Italian houses have. But they have marble floors everywhere in the house, upstairs and downstairs. And the reason why is because in Italy, like, to kind of save on energy, they use marble, because marble, like, even in Greece they do this too, but because marble floors stay cold mostly throughout the year, right? So you don't have to fucking have the AC running all the time. The floor is cold enough to kind of keep it manageable. But even still, like, the houses, they weren't great. You know, they were still post-housing. So, but yeah, if you're looking to recruit, don't worry. There's going to be plenty of them to fucking get you in if you're interested in any of that. So the Army, this one's very interesting. So the Army suddenly and chaotically told hundreds of soldiers they have to be recruiters immediately. So without warning, hundreds of non-commissioned officers were ordered via email to report to the recruiting school at Fort Knox, Kentucky in less than a week. With hundreds
via
more
email.
They were told via email. That's crazy. With hundreds more set to start at the school in December, a sudden, unexpected move by the Army as the service scrambles to boost its recruiting force by 800 by the end of the year. The orders came after a breakdown of how the Army tracks how many recruiters it has coming through the pipeline, along with retention of existing ones. According to Lieutenant General Douglas Stitt, the Army's top personnel officer, the sudden depletion of recruiters caught Army planners flat-footed, with officials unable to provide a clear explanation as to what went wrong. I could tell you right now what went wrong. Leadership. Poor leadership. Poor fucking living standards.
Communication.
All this shit. And it's funny because they'll fucking look for any other reason except for the real reason of what the problem is. They'll look for anything else to solve a problem except for actually looking at the real fucking problem to fix the problem.
Yeah, accountability. There's zero accountability.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
Now NCOs will likely have to move during the holiday season and in the middle of the school year, sowing chaos for families, which that is also fucking crazy. Given the six days heads up, we have zero time to plan childcare, one non-commissioned officer told military.com, on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to talk to the media. We can barely find and afford childcare during the week as it is. So now my wife may end up having to quit her job entirely because it's impossible to find on the weekend. The Army has roughly 10,000 recruiters, but that force has been bleeding troops over the past year. The 800 emergency recruiting students will allow the service to maintain its numbers. Recruiters have
that's a lie.
I know. Recruiters have reported to military.com in recent months for working longer hours and in some cases getting fired for missing quotas.
That's true.
And yeah. You know, there's your issue. Right there. That's one issue right there. Why are we losing recruiters? Why are we bleeding recruiters right now? I don't know, because you have a quota to make and you're firing recruiters and now you're like, we don't have enough recruiters. We can't hit quotas without enough recruiters.
Other people over,
right,
to fill those gaps. This actually came out at the same time as I had. There was a ship I went to, and they were talking about a situation in a part of the world that they may have had to go to, you know, to alleviate some things. I don't know.
Are you talking about current world events?
Maybe. But they were like, we don't know if we're going to go, but they had no clue as if they were going or if they weren't. Right. So, and it was such short notice that some people were like, they were getting rid of, they were cutting leases, like house leases. They were doing all these things to prepare for like this, the event that they may or may not have to go on.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like, most likely we're not doing it. But this was after the fact, like so many people had already, like they cut their lease. They already moved out. And now
they're being
they've
told,
got to be
never
like,
mind.
figure it the fuck out. And then the command's like, sorry.
Poor communication, poor planning.
They don't fucking care.
Poor leadership. It's fucking insane to me.
Like, I understand only giving out a certain amount of information because like OPSEC and all that stuff. But like, you've got to be able to keep your people informed to an extent to where like, it's not fucking their life up. Because one, you got to think it can't be mission first without the people. So you have to be technically people first to a large extent. So if your people are fucked over now because they've got stuff going on that you're the cause of, when it comes down to it, when they do need to go downrange or just generally deploy, because the Navy deploys regardless of world conflict because it's the Navy.
Yeah.
And they do go, they're going to have family issues. They're probably going to have some stress on deployment and end up either having to stay behind or get flown off because something's going wrong. Like, you're screwing yourself in reality. And then you're screwing the other people that are going to have to pick up that fucking work.
We all know that saying common sense ain't so common in the military. So I want to apologize to the soldiers and families for receiving this last-minute notification. That mistake.
That's not helping us.
That mistake is mine, Stitt told reporters Wednesday. It's not lost on me, particularly at this point in time in the cusp of the holidays, the impact this has on our soldiers and NCOs. So I'm sorry, my bad. I really dropped the ball on that one. I should have told you guys sooner. I didn't mean for this to be last minute. It's like, okay, that mistake is yours. Sorry, it's so last minute. What the fuck?
Like, that doesn't help anything. That honestly that would make me more pissed off.
It's just like, oh, so you can't do your job as a fucking leader? Okay. So the mad dash to fill its recruiter ranks as the Army is diminishing minimum standards to send soldiers to the school, including getting rid of requirements that would have passing fitness scores to be in compliance with the body weight standards, according to an internal email reviewed by military.com. Some soldiers who were set to be drill sergeants will be reassigned as recruiters.
That would suck. Like, if you went to be a DI or drill sergeant, what you guys call them?
Drill sergeant, yeah.
And you were all set to do that, and then they told you you're going to go recruiting. Oh, I'd be so pissed.
Oh, dude, I know. Listen to this. To incentivize recruiting roles, the Army is offering promotions and sometimes money. The service will promote sergeants going to recruiting school to staff sergeants. So essentially, you're going to get your 6 for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our bad. Here's your 6. Assuming they were not flagged for reasons such as failing the fitness test. No questions asked. Sergeant Major Chris Stevens, the top enlisted leader for the personnel policy, told reports.
So, if one, they'll get 6 as long as they're not a fat piece of shit. If they are a fat piece of shit, they're still going, though, because we waived that.
Yeah. We'll waive your flag because you're fat, but we ain't going to promote you because you're fat. Fucking, oh, my God. So the opportunity will extend to soldiers recently promoted to sergeant with the time in service and grade requirements being waived. So you could have just pinned 5 and gotten thrown on this, and guess what? You're getting your 6.
That's insane.
Honestly, getting your 7 and 7 that's a fast fucking way to do it. Honestly.
Yeah.
But the problem
doesn't mean
is
that you're ready for that position.
But the problem is everybody in the military says this. Recruiting orders are career killers. For the most part, very few people fucking stay in or progress their career after recruiting. Recruiting is usually like the fucking end stage of your career. Typically, like when it's normal hour, like normal fucking. What's the word I'm thinking of? On a normal day, recruiting is the last thing that you do, right?
Mm.
But now you're sending dudes that are just fresh out of as an E5, and then now they're going to be doing, because it holds you back. You can't go to any more schools until your recruiting orders are done. Mm-hmm. So you're being held back on any progression in your career because of that.
Yep.
On top of that, you don't have time and grade as an E5, which a lot of these things, they require you to have time and grade, right? So being thrown into an E6 slot immediately just to make up recruiting, it's like it's going to be harder for you to get any more progression in your career, because now you got to be an E6 for this long and do this E6 job for this long, and you haven't even gotten a chance to do E5 shit. And then
you're probably going to hold them in those orders for longer too.
Probably. So let's see. Where's that? The soldiers is still expected to complete the advanced leadership course, but it's unclear if that needs to be done within a year, as is required with the temporary promotions. Yeah, so like in order to get your E6, you have to go to what's called ALC, advanced leadership course, in order to qualify to even get your 6. So, and if you do in a situation where you do pick up your 6 before going to that school, you have 1 year to go to that school. Otherwise, your 6 is taken from you.
So just wait. They're going to fuck people over by taking it back because of that.
Those who attend recruiting school and attend by February will earn a $5,000 bonus. Ooh, goody me. Current recruiters who extend their recruiting contracts can earn $1,500 per month for 1 year.
That's actually a lot.
That's a good chunk. It's like if you stay as a recruiter longer, we'll pay you more. Staff sergeants who volunteer for recruiting school and recruit 24 applicants in the first year on the job will be promoted to sergeant first class.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
Don't think that's easy.
It is not easy.
That's a lot of people.
Especially now with fucking recruiting numbers being what they are. That incentive is not for...
I guess depending on where you are, it may not be hard.
Oh, here's a fun one. That incentive is not for the group of soldiers who were forced to go to the school.
Wow.
That's only current recruiters.
Well, I guess that's kind of like you kind of got to have a split. You got to have the incentive for people to go, and then you got to have the incentive for people to stay.
So the services have been struggling with recruiting since COVID-19. The Army has attributed many of its problems to a shallow pool of qualified applicants and relatively healthy job market. It's not healthy. Fair. I promise you it's not. Yeah. Recruiters have fought to find applicants who are fit enough to serve amid a nationwide obesity epidemic, while flagging performance on the academic entrance exam, blamed for underfunding in America's public schools add another challenge. I mean, there's a lot of things that factor in that.
Yeah, also a fair point as well.
The Space Force and Marine Corps hit their recruiting goals last year. Space Force, I am not surprised because they usually hire from their own, which is the Air Force. And Marine Corps,
they're a lot smaller.
That one, I'm not going to lie, I am actually pretty surprised about that one.
They barely hit it.
I'm sure they barely hit that.
But one is because they downsized.
Yeah.
For one. They are much smaller,
and that even says right there their services are much smaller than the rest, and therefore have a lower bar for recruiting quotas.
Exactly, but they also the Marine Corps did downsize too. Like they took away tanks, like they don't have tank battalions anymore.
No, yeah, they got rid of their tanks, which I think was a mistake.
Yeah, terrible, absolutely terrible mistake.
I wasn't a Marine, but I still think that was a mistake. So the active duty part of the Army came up 10,000 new recruits short of its 65,000 goal for the fiscal year. The Army Reserve is even more dire situation, getting only 9,300 new soldiers. Its goal was to recruit 14,000. The Army National Guard fared much better, bringing in 29,457 new soldiers, just shy of its 30,000 recruit goal. I can see why. So the incentive to join the reserves is not as good as joining the Guard. And the reason why I say that is because the Army Reserves is not as well funded as the National Guard. The National Guard is funded through the state.
Yeah, so it's individual state.
And the Reserves is funded through the federal government. The Reserves are funded last. So you have active duty that's funded first, and the Reserves get whatever is left. And on top of that, your responsibilities, like you're basically the Guard. You're at the whim of them. So your fucking armories are shittier. Your equipment is shittier. Your training is less often. National Guard, it's at the mercy of the state. During COVID, the Wisconsin National Guard had basically a blank check to do whatever the fuck they wanted.
That's crazy.
It was crazy because my brother was on COVID-19 orders for 2 years, active orders for 2 years as a guardsman, right?
I remember we talked about that.
And he's getting fucked on his LOD, his VA disability thing because his fucking get this shit. His readiness NCO didn't submit his LOD because he got injured. Because he said, he said he was going to submit it, never did. But he was arguing with my brother about this because he was refusing to submit it in the first place, saying that he didn't think that he deserved it because it wasn't considered a deployment, even though it was active orders, and he got hurt still. And
that doesn't matter.
And this guy was an E7, formerly active duty. He was gatekeeping essentially, right? So he finally had all these written statements from people that were there when he got hurt and shit to fill out the LOD and everything to submit it to the VA. He said, I'll do it. Fine. My brother gets out of the National Guard, and the guy never did it.
Of course not.
So he tried calling the readiness NCO, the new one, because that guy was retiring. And the other guy said, yeah, I'll take care of it. He said he's like, man, that dude never submitted. He fucked you, blah, blah, blah. I'll try to get it right. I'll try to fix it for you. Never did. So now my brother is like trying to figure out what can he do. He has all these like written statements and witness statements and shit from when he got hurt. And he's trying to I got him in touch with the Racine Veteran Services Office so that he can actually get the ball rolling on VA shit to get a claim. He ended up having to have surgery. He tore his knee and shit.
It's ridiculous.
And like had to have surgery and shit. And like his knee is fucked. His back is fucked because of his knee. So he's having a hard time because all that shit was never submitted to the fucking VA by his unit.
Yep, not service connected.
Yeah.
What else is new?
Hopefully we can get him sorted out though. But that's that kind of shit. That's a good example of leadership being a failure and just fucking poor leadership right there. Because you're gatekeeping this, and you're and like it's what does it matter to you? You know, like, why does it matter to you that someone is like trying to file a claim for an injury that he had on orders because you don't feel like that it was valid enough? You know,
like, fuck you. Like, the thing that, like, for like this article, I think is morbidly hilarious is that you're fucking these people over so much and then having them do recruiting. Like, isn't that hilarious? You're literally trying. You're screwing people over that you want to tell other people that the Army is so great and it's a good idea to join.
But you're not giving them any good reason to join, right?
That's what I mean. But like you're literally fucking over the people that are supposed to tell other people. Yeah, like it's a great idea. Join, man. It's awesome.
Like it starts with the recruiter. If you have a recruiter that's really passionate about it, you know, and wants to get people in, like that's gonna get you fucking people in, you know. Like someone that's going to be like, listen, my recruiter was really honest with me. He didn't sugarcoat nothing. He said, you're going to have some pretty shitty times, but a lot. You're also, he's like, when you get out, you're going to remember those. But the one thing you're going to remember the most if you do get out is the good times. And he said, you're going to have a lot of good times also. You know, he's like, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you're going to have that everything's going to be fucking sunshine and rainbows. It's going to suck a lot. You're going to do some stupid shit when you're in. This was also the time when things were changing. I don't think he expected the leadership issues to be as deep seated as they became. But yeah, it's, I don't know, man. There's the Department of the Army is looking for the solution where like a solution for the problem. When it's staring them in the face, they're trying to find anything else but an answer to the problem. Mm-hmm. They're doing everything they can to solve the problem, essentially, which is fucking a failure on their part.
You ever seen the Vet TV Recruiters show?
Yes, I've seen clips of it on TikTok.
It's so true of how recruiting is. I've asked so many people that have been recruiters, and if they've seen that show, every single one of them, regardless of branch, ironically, regardless of branch, they're like, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like mission first. Like you're just getting fucked over if you're not making that mission. And they're like, forget everything that you learned in school.
I know, dude. It's fucking, like, it's terrible. What? It's, I don't know.
Yeah, and the Navy. I still don't understand how the Navy doesn't force people into it, because it's still, you get to choose to be a recruiter or an RDC or DI, drill sergeant, same thing. You choose that. Granted, there is a lot of incentive to it for us. Rightfully so, because we're so short on it. But I slightly feel less inclined, because because you choose to go into it, you somewhat have to know kind of what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if you're getting, you have to kind of know it's probably going to suck. The incentives are there, and that's why most people will go into it for the most part. You've got to go in knowing like this is going to be shit. Like people don't hate these roles and jobs for nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And
the only thing that I tell people when they say that they're considering getting in, like, I tell them, listen, there's a lot of shit that's going to suck, but I will say this. The military was the best and worst thing to ever happen to me.
Yeah.
And it was the worst thing because it was like a lot of the bullshit that I experienced, I fucking hated it, and it drove me insane, and I'm dealing with it still to this fucking day. But the thing is, it did set me up for success in a lot of ways, because school, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of like changes in the way my thought process works. You know, the way that I tackle goals and shit, stuff like that. Like I look at where I'm at today versus where before I joined the Army, and the path that I was going before I joined the Army, and I would not be where I am today had I not done that.
I just tell them to join the Air Force first. Do everything you can to join the Air Force.
Do everything you can to join a branch that you're gonna love it. But I mean, the Army, it has a lot of bad days. But I mean, at the end, you're set up. You have VA benefits. If anything happens to you, fucking absolutely document everything, because when you're getting out, like the benefits that you're going to get when you're getting that VA disability is fucking, mwah, you know, nothing. It sets you up, you know, because without disability, I wouldn't be able to go to school full time.
Yeah.
Even though that I'm not 100% yet, I'm high enough to where it supplements that gap of income versus the VAH that I get from the GI Bill. So it's like I can choose to not work full time. I'm in a fortunate situation essentially because my wife works and makes decent money, and like my income from the GI Bill and my disability is enough to supplement and pay the bills, and I'm never really broke. So also a lot of that has to do with discipline and spending habits, but that's a conversation for another time. Yeah, I think that about covers everything, doesn't it? We have another recording to jump into soon.
That we do.
So
like the video,
like and subscribe to us. Yeah, so like the video, share the video, sub to us. We love to see it. We're going to be doing something a little different at some point soon. We're going to be, an idea got floated to us about involving the regiment staff.
Which sounds chaotic.
It sounds absolutely fucking chaotic. I think I could get it to work.
Be a structure.
I think I can get it to work. I think at the next staff meeting, I'll bring it up. And talk to Oakley about the idea, and kind of talk to the rest of the staff about, hey, if we do this, this is what's going to have to happen, essentially. And then the staff smoke pit can tend to be a bit unhinged, significantly unhinged. So we'll see how that shit works out. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun. It would be fun.
I'm also
the idea
curious.
is fun.
Put in the comments what you think our rebranded name is going to be.
Ah, yes. What do you think the rebranded name is going to be?
Because it's coming forth. It's coming to fruition.
It is coming to fruition. Hopefully soon, for fuck's sake. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all as always. Thanks for watching the Smoke Pit Podcast with Brock and Doc. We will catch you on the next episode. So,
drink your water, take your motion.
Next weekend, I won't be recording with you because I'm going hunting.
Hunting for that dick.
Hunting for all that dick. I'm going to get some big buck. So, anyway, have a good rest of your week, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.